Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, pay the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we need, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, May 15th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A wild day yesterday in baseball. 0-4 in sides and 8-1 in totals. So 8-5 overall plus 2.7 units. We'll take it. Cashed with the Knicks. It's okay that we left money on the table, not backing the Nuggets. It's okay. Got the Knicks cash. And then thank God for the first period under 1.5 in Boston, Florida. Watching Florida no-show was concerning. Again, the Bruins have shown a ton of character and heart all season long. Why should they not in that spot? I mean, if you compare what the Boston Bruins did, in Florida in Game 5, do you think Colorado can do that in Dallas in Game 5? And I look forward to talking to you guys about that. So NHL was 1-1, down 0.24 units. Overall, 10-6. We'll take it. 10-6 plus 3.46 units. So we'll take it. We'll take it. But it's a good way to start the week. It's a strong way to start the week. Get into the week with confidence. Feel like you're seeing things clearly and attack today and attack all week. We need to string together winning days, and we were doing that very easily before. Andrew G says, we have breaking news from the Preakness at the Preakness. Muth has been scratched. Muth has been scratched. Oh, no. Muth scratched. Spiked temperature. Wow. I did not know that. That is damn. Muth has been scratched. Yeah, now Mystic Dan can go for the Triple Crown. Wow, Andrew, that's big news. Big news for our big day on Saturday. We start at 10:15 a.m. right here on Pub Sports Radio. We'll have a cavalcade of Pub Sports Radio thoroughbred cappers joining us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Usual suspects will all be there. Kevry, Gamma Tucci, Razor Sharp Picks, Penny Bombs, Mikey D, and more and more. So it's Connor Mack. There'll be a lot of cappers rolling with us on Saturday. So please join us on Saturday. Going to go off here. Wow. Huge news, Andrew G. Kent Davies says, thinking of moving heavy in some form on the Tigers today. Yes, I came very close to moving on Casey Mize and the Tigers. Just wanted to talk it out with you guys. I came close. It's a very public spot. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I came close. I only moved on the Twins and the under in the Yankees-Twins game, but there's a whole bunch of spots that I came close to. Tori Coker, Knicks under and Nuggets, and best bet is NHL Colorado money line with OKC money line. I like it. I love. I'll tell you why I don't believe Colorado's going to fire today, and we'll break it down. I look forward to doing it. But Tori, you never talk a friend off a dog. You're on a dog. Go get it. We've seen teams step up in the face of this pressure. We haven't really seen that many teams buckle under the face of the pressure. So I can understand that. And OKC money line. Honestly, Tori, I'm very interested in the Mavericks. I screwed up with the Thunder. I had them in games 3 and games 4. I first quarter, first half in game 3, first quarter, first half in game 4. I went 1-3 on those. So it wasn't. California bets in the house. Gerald Jones, best bet. Colorado Padres under 2.5 first 3 innings. Yeah, first 3 innings was good to me again yesterday. Truth Teller in the house. Brian Watson ready to go. Andrew G said, I'm losing sleep with every Nuggets win. This is crazy. I'm going to have to bust out a monster hedge if they make it to the end. Mini epic choke job. Blow the team up, says Andrew G. Billy Friedrich says, I guess Rudy Gobert should have stayed home and breastfed his baby. Joker torched him. Nuggets trifecta. Andrew D says, watching Rudy accept the Defensive Player of the Year award and then not defend Joker is embarrassing. We got Michael Johnson in the house. Frankie Ritako ready to go. So Paddock didn't shit his pants, but he definitely shot. Okay, all right, Frankie. Joey Harb, smooth balls play today. Robert Gasser over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 122. Let's get that set up for us. Smooth balls play of the day. So we have a real nice card for us to attack here. Soon it's going to be all MLB soon. So we really have to cherish the opportunity to cap the NHL and the NBA playoffs together. Swiggy in the house says, good luck, Swiggy, who is the backbone of our website. He takes care of our website. And Swiggy doing a great job with our NHL playoff pool. Jose, if you could get that playoff pool up so we could take a look at it as my mom is back in the lead. We have Gerald Jones says NFL schedule drops tonight. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper, Capper, and Stacks play today. Tommy Pham over 1.5 bases at plus 104. More plus money for the Stacks play of the day. Let's copy and paste that to be right under the smooth balls play of the day. Have that locked and loaded. Joey Harb says Yankees over 3.5 minus 125. Awfully tempting. Well, I'm on the other side of that just because I'm on the Twins in the under. But there's nothing wrong with being on the other side of me, first off. And we'll talk it all out. We'll talk it all out together. Sweaty Butcher in the house. Brian Watson on Dallas money line. The Stars tonight. There's Mally Mal, Joey Harb, Court Wiley, our guy Court Wiley in the house. Dan Kelly says, new dad Scotty Scheffler is a prohibitive favorite at the PGA Championship, but doesn't him being a brand new dad put a lot of value on everyone else? I agree. I think it does. Viper NB ready to go. Rocco Rogers in the house. The squad is forming. Kong's Clips, Nasty Nate. Yeah, the Bruins showed a ton of character. Just a ton of character. Rocco says, what an insane ending to Oilers Canucks. What a series it's going to be. I mean, I find it very tricky to not want to bet the Canucks. But I've only backed them in one game and they lost that game. I find it very difficult to not back the Vancouver Canucks in Game 5. It feels like we have not seen the Canucks' best game, and we've seen the Oilers' very best game in that 4-3 win in Game 2 in Vancouver. Nothing I'm seeing from the Oilers is would fear any Canucks backers. I can't wait to talk about that as well. Nasty Nate, Cash Nick second quarter, Cash Nuggets second quarter, Cash Red Sox, Cash Bruins, D Jenkins in the house. Dan Kelly says, I'm still pissed I didn't put a big hunch bet on Mystic Dan, who is more mystic than me. You're right, Dan. Sometimes you got to bet a name, I guess, and maybe in the Kentucky Derby. You got a better name. Nate Dog 420 in the house. My dude says Nuggets win this series. Nuggets. God, there's so much fun to talk about. Jarek White is on Mavs money line. Yeah, Jarek, I think I get there, but we're going to talk about it. Kong's Clip says same side again. He's on the Mavericks tonight. Has that not been working for us, Kong's Clips, when we've been together? Let me know, because I didn't know that was an issue that we had. D Jenkins is very close to smashing the Panthers next game, Jimmy. Yeah, I guess so. Remo says, can't believe I'm asking this, but can we see Jose's new haircut? Let's check it out right now. Let's get Jose's new haircut on the screen. Give us a let's see the sides.
No. Well, let's relax, everyone.
Oh no, what happened?
Let's nothing happened. Nothing happened.
It looks hilarious.
Let's just calm down.
No. What, do you have like a little rat tail there?
No. Let's just calm down. It's a normal haircut.
What the hell happened? Why won't you look sideways?
Nothing happened. You guys are just freaking out. It's a normal haircut.
Oh my
Nothing
God.
happened.
Something terrible happened to the sides. What is there? A lightning bolt? You get a lightning bolt in there?
No, I got the PSR logo and obviously just tattooed on the back of my head.
Jesus.
Well, it was actually your face.
Wow, look at that. So we're not going to get the information we were so looking for. I cannot believe this. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Okay, so great to see all you guys. We've got a ton of work to do. BJ Cashin the Knicks, and his best bet is the Twins money line. You got it a much better line than I did, BJ. Much better line than I did. But I had to move on to -1 here. Phil the Kill in the house. Al Cervix is sitting outside while breaks getting taken care of. Nicest day of the year, day off. Let's go. And he wants the Mavs. Sell me. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to be able to sell you the Mavs until the, an hour and a half goes by and we cap NBA, which will probably be about 1 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, I'm thinking of switching up. Oh, okay. Kong says the corner of Kong's and Bag went 2-0 last time. Okay, that's what I want to hear, Kong. That's what I want to hear. Swayman, first period under. And Edmonton, nice job, Steve G. Unfortunately, I had Edmonton on the -1 line. But I did get the over 5.5, which is what I do whenever the Oilers play. I wait for that line to get to 4.5. Now, I waited till it got to 4.5. And I took it at -155, which is, and I always say when you bet live, you need the plus line beside you. But I want those 4.5 so badly in Oilers games. Now, I think that went down to 3.5. There was a chance one time I looked at it. I was trying not to get focused on it because I needed that goal in late second period. But there was +110 over over 4.5. So look, I was fortunate to get there. But my God, the 4.5s in Oilers and Avalanche games. They just, if you can get them, they catch. There will so often be 2 goals in the last 3 minutes with the net pulled. All right, so there is some laughs at Jose being afraid to show us his haircut. Tori Coker says looking like buckwheat. Johnny Gunn says Jose's a fresh Prince of San Antonio. And Lego haircut says Tim Montana BX. Leonard says that you went to Supercuts. And Jarek White says got the Chili Bowl flat top. I'm at Heat says Helga cut that. So let's get Helga. Maybe Helga can fix that. JW calling you a coward, Jose. That's strong words, JW. I think now you might make him show the side of his head because those are strong words. California bets. The California 11 play of the day is in. Let's get this copied and pasted. Orioles first 5 run line +110. Still a believer in Orioles versus lefties, as you should be. Just because they're not hitting as hard as the Diamondbacks doesn't mean they're still against lefties. Doesn't mean they're not smashing lefties. Denver to win the series at +470, looking mighty nice. It sure is. Nut Flush Allen in the house. Rem Moses. Sorry, I asked. All right, let's get to work. Dan Kelly says sounds like a live bet situation with the Oilers. Nucks total there. Oh yeah, I mean, but it's every Oilers game and every Avalanche game. If there's a low scoring, I'm afraid to bet unders with the Orioles and the Oilers and the Avalanche. But I sit there and I wait till it gets to 4.5. Now, when at 365, when it gets to 4.5, it starts at -180. So you have to wait for it to drop. I wait for it to get down below -160. But 4.5s, Oilers, Avalanche games, just wait and be patient. Justin McCollum says cowards damn near fighting words. Yes, Jose called me a coward once. And it called me it twice live on show.
I disagree. I think it's very funny.
Okay, he likes it. He likes the word coward. But yes, it is a tough one. Al Cervic, Jose's look, he's not scared, man. Guy's not scared, man. Now he is battling raccoons, so he's got a bit of an issue with those furry animals, those sweet furry animals. But other than that, he's not scared. Okay. All right. Let's get to work here. Quick review of yesterday. 1-1 down 0.24 units in NHL. Panthers -1 was lost, and I was extremely confident in them. And I probably cost a bunch of you guys money, and I'm sorry. I was very confident in them taking care of business. I bet them live, and I didn't. You guys were in my head, as you always are. But I was like, the Boston scored the early goal. And I was like, you can't bet it yet. It has to be a plus number beside the Panthers. And I waited till I got the +100. And then I bet the +100. And then I was like, I'm in business when they tied it up. And of course, that McAvoy stepped up in a big way, which was impressive. Charlie McAvoy, what a player he is. Of course, the Vancouver Canucks drafted a defenseman before Charlie McAvoy, and his name is Oli Uolevi. Does he play in the NHL? No, he doesn't. Where does he play? I have no idea. But if it was up to me, I would Nancy Kerrigan him, and he would never play again. Okay, let's get to Jarek White says if we get to 200 likes. Now, we don't get to 200 likes. I mean, that might be asking too much, Jarek. What about 150? How about that, Jose? If
No,
we get to
Jarek
100
said 200, so 200 it is.
it must
Sucks
look
for you
horrifying
guys.
from the sides. It must be laugh out loud from the sides. Okay. Andrew G says I got killed betting home faves in NHL this year. Well, it's important to go over all of your numbers. Very, very, very important. Nasty Nate said didn't cost me money, just made me laugh. Wow, look at that. I was a comedian, no longer Nasty Nate. I hate when people use that term. People do 5 shows a year and they're like, "Oh, I'm a comedian." All right, buddy.
Wait, so I can't call myself a comedian?
You can. Only you, though.
Thank you.
Only you.
Okay,
Jose,
thank
only
you. Good.
Jose,
I'm gonna tell
bring up
Tabby that.
bring up the playoff pool action here and let's pop it up. And by the way, Mama Bag wants all the money. Mama Bag wants all the money. She wants it all. She wants to beat everybody in our first ever playoff pool. And she is, first off, losing the Avalanche will be the great equalizer. It will help me very, very much. It will be the great equalizer. But in reality, all I need to beat is Jose. I'm sitting in 9th right now. And Jose, you are 7 points back. Okay, so I've got a little bit of it's been a touch and go for a long time. So I've got a little bit of space here. But you have 2 players now in Jesper Fast and Big Val Nishushkin.
What happened to him?
Nothing. He's good. He's great. He's
a fucking asshole, man. So he just tanks the season for the whole squad because he wants some fucking booze or blow off some hooker's fucking anus.
Hockey players are booze bags, but they're also into the old.
And Jasper's fat broke his fucking neck in the last fucking game of the season.
Kuznetsov was a great pick. I thought that would hurt you. Martinuk 5 on, but you put together a really nice performance. Sitting in 12th right now. I need to beat you. If I lose, I have to pay both his entries to the NFL pool. I don't think we do that again next year. I think that was a one.
Wow. Well, you didn't realize how good I would be just by listening to you talk about hockey.
When do I say Jesper Fast? How often
you say Hurricanes? You want some Avalanche? You said the Florida Panthers would be good this year. You said all those teams. I just picked players on those teams. I don't know who these fucking guys are.
Well,
I just picked the players on the team that are good. I barely picked McDavid and Draisaitl. I forgot to add them. They were like my last picks.
Good additions. Solid addition.
Thank you.
Solid addition.
Thank you.
Because Bobano took 2 Oilers and neither of their names are McDavid and Draisaitl. So.
Oh God, that really tickles me. That tickles me. I don't know if Gokster did something else fucked up too. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom and find Mr. Gokster all the way at the bottom.
Oh no,
all the way at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Oh good. He only has McDavid and good old Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, Evan Bouchard. That hurt you not adding him.
All right. Who the fuck is that guy? I have no idea.
It's okay. It's okay. Just as long as I beat you.
That's
all that matters to me.
By the way, of course, I took some Vancouver heartbreak last night. That hurt me. That really hurt me.
To tie it up,
you should laugh because that was disgusting.
They're the better team in this, even though they're getting outshot. It's a tricky cap. But they do seem like the better team, even though they're getting outshot. And it's a very interesting series. I look forward to talk about it. But let's get into NHL right now, Jose, and then we will get into MLB. We do have one Major League Baseball game at 12:35 p.m. Eastern. There has been a pitching change in that. Kikuchi is on the bump. Let's get to work here, though. 8 p.m. West second round, game 5. Dallas leading the series 3-1. The Avalanche were not a good road team this year, 19-16-6. Stars 26-11-4. Georgiev versus Ottinger. Georgiev has been exactly what we thought he was in the regular season. There's been no difference. The 310 goals against average, 891 save percentage. He is, he's not a, we don't even say elite. I don't even know if we can say he's a good number 1 goaltender. He is an Iron Man. He's played a lot of games, but I guess Annunen will be their goaltender moving forward. Ottinger has stepped up in a huge way. If Dallas can get past Vegas and Colorado and get past Colorado. Now this series with Colorado will have an asterisk on it, but I don't know who can get in the way of Dallas, and we'll have to see what happens in the Oilers Canucks series. But I'm going to be making a move on Dallas once they get through Colorado. I just got to figure out how exactly, because my only futures left are Florida and Edmonton. The power play for both teams are at 30.8%, but now you're taking off Nichushkin, Big Val, who's just he might be. Everyone would always say that little Joe Pavelski was the best power play forward in front of the net because of his deflections, but he's not big enough to, he's still, and now look, I don't know if he's getting too old in the tooth, but Big Val in front of the net. I mean, who does he remind you of? Is he Dave Andreychuk? Dave Andreychuk doesn't get talked about enough. The power play goal leader in the history of our sport. That's who he looks like in front of the net. So let's talk about the line history. And, the fun thing about the playoffs is that you get a lot of time to sit with these spots. And in my head, I kept going back to how there's one player on the Colorado Avalanche who could turn this all around. And his name is Gabriel Landeskog. And if we remember what happened when Landeskog was not available for the Avalanche, you could see it in McKinnon's face. The toughness, the net presence, the accountability, your captain. And he's not here. And I love Nate McKinnon, but I've not seen him kind of man up in the way Charlie McAvoy did. Now, it's weird to say that about a Stanley Cup champion, and I kind of, probably shouldn't, because he's a deserved Stanley Cup champion. It's important to have him as one of the faces of the league. He's a phenomenal hockey player. But when the chips are down, is he going to step up here? Is Cale Makar going to step up here? Maybe. Bednar is a tough coach. He's going to get the most out of this team. They're going to get Taves back. He was sick, supposedly. But the issue here is not necessarily Colorado, even though it's sad. It's sad. And we're going to go over some of the X's and O's here. Let's talk about Dallas for a second. Actually, let's talk about the line history. Now, this is the kind of thing that has not really been working for me in the playoffs this year. A team which I believe has the opportunity to put their foot on the opponent's throat and send them, to Cancun. I do think that Dallas does that here, and I think this price is great. Why is this price like this? Is it because the market can't quickly adjust to the Avalanche without Big Val? Is Jonathan Drouin coming back going to change things? He looked okay in that game one. I mean, but we know who Johnny Drouin really is. Now he's trying to change that storyline here with the Avalanche. He did a good job with it this year. The line opened up minus 138. It's now minus 149. From a total side of things here, we're dealing with a 6. It's minus 121 to the over. This has been going back and forth from 6.5 to 6, 6.5 to 6. This is the first time that I believe I've bet an under 1.5 first period in the Avalanche game. The Avalanche just scare me, but they don't scare me right now. Jarek White says Dallas versus Florida Stanley Cup at plus 280. I don't think that's a nice enough risk reward. Honestly, I don't think plus 280 is quite good enough, but I think that's the most feasible outcome. I think that you'd make more money taking the Panthers to beat the Rangers and then betting them in the big games and focusing on that end. And also maybe taking Dallas right now to win the Western Conference, instead. Dallas right now, let's just see what they'd be to win the Western Conference. I mean, it's going to be a minus what, though? To win conference, minus 125. That's a pretty nice number. Huh. That's a really nice number. I mean, you're not going to get that number with whoever comes out of Edmonton. I don't think the number will be that different. Maybe what would it be? If Edmonton comes out of the series, Dallas going to be minus 150, minus 160? I'm going to put that note there here for the Stars. Maybe it's time to bet the Stars Western Conference now. It might be. The thing is, for me, it's a little different for me. If the Oilers can get past the Canucks, I can just parlay the Stars to win the series and the Rangers to win the series because that's my worst case scenario. That's the only thing that could hurt me. Other than that, I just need one of Edmonton or Florida to move on to get paid. So Jarek White saying that's minus 120 at Bovada. There's Sun Dizzle in the house. Says, would love to see Avs and Canucks pulled off so I can see Vancouver here. Sun Dizzle, I think you should focus your Denver love on the Denver Nuggets is what I think you should do. So let's roll here. Let's roll here. Jeff Dahmer in the house says the Bruins will get skinned. So let's go here. These are the X's. Wyatt Johnston, has been absolutely incredible. I mean, you add that kind of a sniper. Now, it looks like Dallas might be moving. I expect Dallas to move forward without Rupee Hintz. Now, we're not going to get any information out of the Stars, but I expect them to be out. Back last year, it was that Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski line that was their offense. That line's not been that good this year, and DeBoer's played them yet less, and Robertson hasn't been the dynamic 100-point scorer that we thought he was going to be perennially. So Wyatt Johnston's been a huge piece to the puzzle. Scores shorthanded and power play. And also, he could have scored that hat trick. He had the chance to score the empty net hat trick, and instead, he passed the puck to Sammy Steele. I mean, it shows what kind of a guy he is. And you know what kind of guy Wyatt Johnston is. He lives at Joe Pavelski's house for the second year now. You'd think maybe after that first year he'd want to move out. No, all he cares about is being the best hockey player that he can be. And he sure has shown that. He turned 21 yesterday, 10th and 11th career playoff goals. He's the 8th player in NHL history to reach double-digit postseason goals at age 20 or younger. So it's Devon Taves being out of the lineup hurts, but what always happens and what we've been seeing happening when there's a big defenseman out of the lineup and he's replaced is the guy replaces him is called for penalties. Just can't keep up. And that's what happened with Caleb Jones. 2 penalties, important ones. The key with Avalanche here is Big Val probably knew that the hammer was about to come down. So their power play is now 0 for 8 in the past 3 games. Now, we've only not seen Big Val in there for once, but he leads with 9 goals this year in the playoffs for them. And, Colorado was outshot 16-2 in the first period. If you looked at who was stepping up in that lineup, it's easy to say Casey Middlestad because he scored the goal, but Casey Middlestad was all over the ice. Rantanen and Makar had 9 points each in the first round. They have 3 points in the series. And Cale Makar has not scored a point since game 1. Now, I called out Charlie McAvoy. He hadn't had a shot on goal until last night's game, and he delivered. He delivered with a goal and assist. He was the best player on the ice. Cale Makar has to do that here. Let's keep going down the list. Arturi Lehkonen. He has 1 assist in the series. 1 assist. So with all that said and done, I'm on Dallas -1, and I'm on the first period under 1.5. If I know that Dallas is going to play completely conservative style. They're going to be accountable defensively. And I imagine Colorado's going to throw everything at the net. After 2 shots on goal in the first, everything at the net. So if Georgiev and Ottinger can play well and the Dallas Stars, I know that when the road team plays in a playoff game that they try to handle that first punch from the home team, that first 5 or 6 minutes when the crowd's going bananas. Here, I think it's a little different. After the Avalanche were embarrassed with their backs against the wall, I think it's important for Dallas to handle this Colorado first punch. Billy Felix says Avs were very physical game 1 and game 4, but it didn't work for them in game 4. I think the Avs are out of plans. Look, I don't think the Avs are big enough. I've been saying that throughout this whole. Now, look, whatever I said doesn't really hold water just because, Nichushkin being out and that surprising the team going into. I mean, it just changes things a little bit. Billy Felix says Dallas has outscored the Avs 6-0 in the first period of this series. And Michael Johnson says, how about saves for Ottinger? I don't study that side of things. I don't study. Now that makes sense, though, Michael Johnson. That makes sense. That Colorado's going to throw everything at the net and saves over for Ottinger. That makes sense. That's not something I necessarily want to include, but that makes sense to me to do that. So, all right, Johnny Gunn says for a lucky game 1, Dallas would have swept this team. Yeah, it's amazing how fast things change. So I've got 2 spots tonight. I'm on Dallas on the -1 line. I will have interest in them live, but it won't be an immediate bet if they go down 1-0 and Colorado's playing with enormous effort and Makar's leading the charge, or McKinnon. If either of those mighty M's are leading the charge, it's not going to be an immediate live bet. I'll think about it. I'm on the first period under 1.5, which I've been cashing throughout the playoffs. Thank God for them. And I'm on the Dallas Stars -1, and that is our NHL breakdown for Wednesday, May 15th. And I love Billy Freeman says whichever team has won the faceoff statistic has lost the game. Every game in the series except for game 3, faceoffs were tied that game. That's wild. I did not expect. That's strange. That doesn't make sense to me. I think that that's just a small sample size that shouldn't reflect. I mean, winning faceoffs, having puck possession is so crucial in important hockey games. But yeah, Michael Johnson, the more I think about it, that makes a lot of sense. Again, you're capping the capper here with my breakdown. That makes a lot of sense. Now, unfortunately, though, Michael Johnson, that bet is based on Colorado showing heart here. And if they had big Gabe Landeskog, there'd be no question in my mind. He was a special, special talent, and I hope we get to see him on the ice again. Johnny Gunn says Avs have never led at any point in regulation. The only time they led was an OT win. That's absolute dominance. I guess that the Dallas to win the conference should be bet now. I just got to figure out how much to bet because it is sort of a hedge, but I don't see how Edmonton or Vancouver can beat this Stars team. DeBoer, just one last thing with that NHL. DeBoer is mean, dude. Like he's not gonna. He demands, and he's obviously who's not in love with Wyatt Johnston. I mean, this kid's just so special. But I don't see them. This is a Colorado Avalanche team. Stanley Cup champs. 2 years ago? I mean, just a team that Dallas badly wants to beat. Andrew G says you can't see Oilers beating the Stars. I cannot. Unfortunately, for my futures on the Oilers to win the Cup, I can't. So, and also another thing is Dallas is going to be so well rested. I can't right now. Now, hopefully I can. Now, maybe Edmonton can show us a different story here. It's a best of 3 with 2 games in Vancouver. You have to think that the Canucks have the best chance. How in the world would the Canucks not be the favorite to win the series? Right now, the Canucks are plus 165. That's astonishing. In a best of 3 with 2 games at home. I wouldn't line it like that. If a book was pushing me too hard, I'd line it minus 130, plus 110 for the Oilers. But I don't think that's the fair line either. I would say the fair line's minus 120 plus 100. I would say the fair line's a pick'em, or Vancouver being favored. Honestly, 2 games over there at Rogers. We'll see. And Let's Dance says there will be blood. I love it. And Subhuman Hockey play of the day from our guy, Subhuman Gaucho, who is up 15.808 units. First to 5 shots on goal, the Avs at minus 110. That's a really interesting way of looking at it. That's both what Michael Johnson and Subhuman Gaucho are doing is a very, very interesting way of handling things. All right. It is time to talk Major League Baseball. Let's bring on the star of MLB here on Pub Sports Radio, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas. Fresh haircut on board. Please welcome our friend Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you?
I started off with a good confidence boost from the chat. Thanks for all the confidence. I didn't see a 1, but thank you guys as always for your comments on my haircut. I appreciate it. Jimmy, I am very flustered with baseball at the moment, so I have 3 plays locked in. I'm going to keep my card very short today, and it's going to be a winning day. Write it down, Peter, as they say.
And how did yesterday go for you?
I got bottom mouth. I went 2 for 5, I think I went. I'm down to up 5 units on the year now. Fucking big swing for me was the under in the Padres game. It looked so under for the longest time, and then suddenly snap your fingers and a bunch of runs scored. That was super annoying. Oakland loses by 1, obviously, and then the Mariners no show. So that was a very frustrating series of events. I also didn't double up on Jack Leiter Day, but I know the over cashed in that game, which was nice. And the Yankees was obviously very easy as well. So going to try to keep it tight today.
The only real frustration I had with yesterday's card was Port dope. I cashed the first 5 under 4, sure. But that first 3 plus a half, all I needed was 9 outs. He's never pitched better. The line went against me 60 cents, so I don't move on it. Not pleased. Not pleased. Shout out to our guy Dana Delp. It is Dana Delp's birthday today. Needs a birthday pick. I want to cap the whole card, but I'm certainly leaning towards using the Dallas Stars money line. Dana Delp, happy birthday. Dana Delp, you rocked with us, man, for so long.
Yep.
OG low bagger, happy birthday. How old do you think Dana Delp is turning?
I didn't look at his message, so I'm going to guess 33.
Oh, interesting. Because I was between two numbers, so I'm gonna go. Well, if it was Price is Right, I would just say, because you can't go over, right? I'll go 36. Billy Friedrich saying 47. Let's find out how old our guy Dana Delp is turning.
Yeah.
So yesterday was wild, Jose. 0-4 in sides. I lose on the Rays at plus 101. Lose on the Pirates at plus 140. I lose on the Cubs at plus 170. I bet here. Sorry, Cubs at plus 170.
53.
I lose 53. Okay, hey, I like it, Dana. Respect.
Just flip mine around.
No, 50. Oh, and Mally Mal nailed it. Mally Mal nailed it. Dana, I love it. Happy birthday, man. 53 is great, man. Times have changed, man. All we want to do is live the life that Nuke Worker has lived. That's it, right? Work hard, retire early, and gamble nonstop.
Yeah, Nuke Worker taught me about retirement.
Oh, he's money in the bank. So
pension?
0-4, I went on sides with Seattle -1. And then 8-1, Jose, on unders. 8-1 yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't find those unders.
Colorado, San Diego, first 5 under 4 cashed. Miami, Detroit, first 3 under 2.5 cashed. Miami, Detroit, first 5 under 4.5 cashed. Game 2, Washington, White Sox, first 5 under 4 cashed. Chicago, Atlanta, under 8 cashed. Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, under 8.5 cashed. Oakland, Houston, under 8.5 cashed. My only loss was St. Louis, LA, under 7.5 was the loser. And then KC, Seattle, under 7 cash. So it was good. And Toronto, Baltimore, under 7. Orioles money line for wine time to start the day. So let's get to there. He is. There's our guy, the Nuke Worker. Oh man. Also, when you get to spend time with the Nuke Worker, I just like if you're ever having a bad day at home, would you just push open the back door and just walk directly into a bar where Nuke Worker is sitting right there, and a beer being poured? I mean that sounds.
Hey, buddy.
That sounds like heaven. And he did cut all the Hey Buddies in San Antonio. He knew what had happened to Gokster, and he cut out all the buddies. He stopped.
That's gonna be an issue for one Alex Pavone. I'm seeing him this weekend.
Yes, I saw that.
And yeah, he's going to be abusing the buddies this weekend. It's going to be very funny to see what happens to him. And he's not a large human being, so
no, he's not.
Who knows what's going to happen with him?
Got married 2 weeks ago as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did. He got married 2 weeks ago. Let's get to work. I'm going to refresh the weather here. We have Yusei Kikuchi being chosen to pitch over Chris Bassett. We're in Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. We have an early start. This game popping off in 55 minutes. We've already heard from Wine Time on the under 7 and the Orioles money line. First off, 63 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 10.2 miles per hour, in between 10.2 and 10.5 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here. We got Lamont Williams. We got Jake Burns. We got my dude in the house. We got Mikey Money. Everybody, Sabino and Guano. We got the squad ready to roll. Let's get into this MLB card. This is a crucial day for me to get into single digits after hopefully that being my low watermark. I've said that to you now 3 times, so praise, please. From a money line perspective, Jose, in game number 1, Pinnacle has the Orioles at minus 125. Opened up at minus 127. Got up to minus 136 immediately this morning with the pitching change announcement. Which is interesting. I guess, Orioles smash lefties. They'll get the Kikuchi, but we've been seeing good left-handed pitchers slow down great teams that smash lefties. From a total scenario, we are dealing with a 7 minus 111 to the under. This at 9:42 with the pitch and change was a 7.5. It got down 7 and got back up to 7.5. Right now we're sitting with the under 7 minus 111. I'm going to pull up the cash flow here in a second. But let's get into the actually, why don't you give us the cash flow, Jose, because I don't have it up yet, and we'll keep the speed going. Let's talk X's and O's here. Bradish, 1.86 ERA, 1.24 whip. He's had 2 starts, 14 Ks, 4 walks, 9 2/3. Hasn't let a jack yet. Coming off a nice performance at Washington, 5 innings for its 1 earned run, 9 Ks, and 2 walks. The Jays don't hit lefties, 225, 658. We know the Orioles smash the Jays don't hit righties, 225, 658. We know that the Orioles smash lefties, 275. 832 OPS. The Jays bullpen, I don't need to keep saying it, but they're not the worst bullpen in the league. They have a 5.04 ERA. That's going to drop. The 1.36 whip is a good indication. Converting 11 of 14 save opportunities is a good indication that they're better than the numbers drop. Orioles bullpen's been very good all year. 3.34 ERA, 1.11 whip. The problem is Kimbrel comes in and blows saves. They've converted 13 of 22 saves. Leonard Porsche has moved on the O's. Truth Teller on the first 5 over 3.5. Troy Torrance on the Orioles. Sabino Anguano says Bradish goes 4-5 max. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. We have Blue Jays Orioles.
Yeah, I didn't move on this game. I thought it was a tight one for me. I really like Kikuchi, as we all know. I bet on him in a lot of his starts. And Bradish, I don't know. And by the way, Ramon, I saw that he was already ruled out, this Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, I just don't have any lean to either side enough. Now, you mentioned the market here, Jimmy. 86% of the bets and 99% of the money on the Baltimore Orioles here. Kind of unsurprising. 60% of the bets and only 45% of the money on the over. So 40% of the bets, 55% of the money on the under, and it's been plummeting. I can see why it is. Kikuchi, very good. Could see him pitching well, but I think this is going to be a lower scoring tight game, so I stayed off.
Do you believe this market has moved enough for, we've heard everybody in the chat on the Orioles. Has this moved enough?
Let me refresh my odds sheet.
Look at Bookmaker. Bookmaker opened this yesterday at 2:40, 3 hours, I guess way before. I guess that was with the different pitcher that was Bassett, so that doesn't count. Let's talk about when was the switch? The switch was at 9:43 a.m. 9:43 a.m. All the books kind of came out with the line with Kikuchi. They opened up at minus 138. It's now minus 123. The 15 cents of movement.
I have it. That's interesting. Yeah, I'd lean Blue Jays, obviously, here. But, I mean, I think the Orioles are one team that the market is just – it never feels like it matters with the Orioles here.
There was just a 10-cent move. I apologize. They just went from minus 123 to minus 133 at Bookmaker 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I bet against the Orioles when the market's going against them, and they still come out on top in it this year so far, and it's been very frustrating. It's just one of those teams I never feel confident in fading in, really.
Huh. I don't want the Orioles here. I don't think Bradish is being that good. I mean,
I think he's still trying to get his legs under him too.
Yeah, I guess I just leave it alone. What is your expectation of Kikuchi against these guys?
That's a good question. I mean, we all know that I love Kikuchi, and he's been very good even against offenses that are good against lefties. Minnesota, for example, last time out, 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. They kill lefties, and he still dominated them. Pitched well against the Dodgers, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Not the best, but still pretty good. So I could see him pitching well here. But again, the Orioles, as we say, they don't stop. They come at you in waves, and it's a scary proposition betting against the Orioles. So, especially with, as you know, the Blue Jays the Blue Jays who apparently cannot hit anymore, which is surprising to me every day.
Mount Cal. Who are we worried about in this Orioles lineup. Obviously, Mountcastle. We have the rain. I've got that it's not supposed to rain, but they've got a 63% chance of rain. I've got that it's not. That it's just going to be cloudy. I'll double check that. But obviously, Mountcastle, he's just destroyed all Blue Jays pitching. And then O'Hearn, Rutschman. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I think Baltimore is too public, and Kikuchi's pitching well, and I'm gonna stay off of this spot. Joe Yurkovich says Brad can be just as good as Kikuchi. Absolutely. And there is our guy Turnsey in the house. Turnsey back in action with us over the last couple days, and there is a reason why our guy Turnsey has been not around. His son has epilepsy, and he's been dealing with seizures, and it's caused him to have to leave his job and stay home with his son. And he's put out a GoFundMe, of which I will be tweeting out today, and we will be talking about it here as we move forward, as he's not able to work. So Turnsey, so sorry that you and your family have had to go through this, and your son's such a great kid, man, going to be a great hockey player, going to get through all of this, and I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with this, but you have handled it, with strength, and led your family through this, and so sorry. And that's why he hasn't been here, because he's been such a big part of our show over the last few years. And so, Turnsey, just know that we're thinking of you, and we love you, and that we will help. So we will we'll be talking about it here on our show, and I will be putting it out on social media, and we will help. You're part of our family, and we love you, man, and we will help. So, just keep your head up, keep leading your family through, and keep doing exactly everything that you're doing right now is leading by example, and inspiring to all of us. And so we will be more involved in what's going on with you and your family down in Windsor. So I'll have it up. We'll have it up in the comment section tomorrow. We'll talk about it in our shows. And just know that we're thinking of you and sending love and strength to you and the fam.
Shout out to you, Turnsey. Don't worry, Kent turned out fine. He only
he is money
was a little bit of a booze bag. Shout out to you, Kent. We love you, Kent.
Kent's the best of us, man. I love Kent. Kent's money in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. If your son grows up to be Kent Davies, then it was a success. Besides the booze. Shout out to you, Kent, again.
And there is our guy. Newgorg says Schulman tweeted out 3 minutes ago the tarp being removed. Yeah, it's good to go as far as I see. And there's Trot Wham in the house, our guy Wham Bam. And look at that. Kent Davis went to play high school and college football. And look, Turnsey, your kid's going to be a great hockey player. So just be part of the story. I'm off this Blue Jays Orioles Camden Yard spot as well. I'm off. So I will cheer you guys on. Wine time doubling up to start today. Let's move on, because this game is very, very interesting. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 12-32, 6-15 on the road. The Detroit Tigers 21-21, 10-12 at home. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Let's get into the weather here in Detroit. 68 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour out to right field. Gets up to 10.5 miles per hour out to right field. And it's close to the right field pole. It's left to right. It's not really, it's left to right across the diamond here. Let's get into the line history for this one and the cash flow. From a line history standpoint, I was a little surprised that the market came all the way back. And I was watching it happen in real time, and it's hard to trust that, a favorite like the Tigers, who can't hit, to be at this price. They opened up at minus 157. They're now minus 160. So they got up to minus 173 at 7:20 this morning. But right now, it's just a 3-cent move. That's it. Just a 3-cent move towards them. On the total side of things here, we have a 9, a minus 117 to the under. This opened up at 8.5. And the surprise for me was this went down to 8. Then when it went back up to 8.5, it went down to 8 again. You could have got, if you wanted the over, you could have got the over 8 at minus 115 at 7:54 a.m. Eastern, 4 hours ago. And now we have a 9. So implied volatility here with both of these pitchers. You have 92% of tickets and 93% of cash on the Detroit Tigers. And on the total, you have 57% of tickets and 72% cash on the over. And now it's moving to the over. Tori, thank you for the kind words, man. But this is just our nature. This is our group. This is our fam. This is what we do. Remember, as gamblers, people used to look down upon us before things got legalized and before we could pull them out of the dicey fucking back rooms. We all felt that our whole lives. So we're all joined by this fact that people look down upon what we love, and it brought us all together when we needed it. So many times I've needed it so badly, and I know others have needed it so badly. The friendship, the camaraderie, the capping, it all. So I'm just very honored to be a part of this group, part of this family, and just very thankful. It gives me inspiration and focus and hope. And you guys do so much for me in my life. I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful to be part of this community. Let's go here. Comerica Park, Detroit, Michigan. So Trevor Rogers didn't look that bad in that 8-2 loss at home versus the Phillies. If you saw the ref's scorecard in that game, Jose, I have it here. It was an absolute joke. It was one of the worst.
Who's the umpire?
I'll pull it all up here. I have it on my phone.
It's funny that you saved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just because I was on the under, or no, sorry, I was on the, what was I lost whatever bet I was on. So this is the scorecard for Corey Blazer. He had a minus 2.5% below expected accuracy. His overall accuracy was 90%. His called strike accuracy was 78%. He called 12 of 54 called strikes were true balls. And this gave a huge number, a 0.83 runs for Philadelphia. 0.83 runs were just because of the umpire. That's one of the biggest numbers. That's one of the biggest numbers I've ever seen. Rogers was better than he looked in that start. Nice job, DC. A nice job, man. Yeah, Knicks were slam dunkage, man, and great call on the Nuggets. So,
Jimmy, by the way, home favorites with 60% of the bets in cash, and the market moving towards them. 8-0 this season. That's what Troy's saying about the O's.
Well, Casey Mize coming off a great start at home versus the Astros, who hit much better than the Marlins. Marlins are 233, 655 versus righties. The Tigers are just 229, 630 versus lefties. I'm surprised this is skyrocketed to the over. Both of these moves have gone against what my plan was. We know that the Tigers have a big bullpen advantage, and we hear that the lineup is out. Let's pull up this lineup. So let me refresh it. Here, thank you, Joe, and let's go over the lineup for the Marlins: Chisholm, De La Cruz, Bell, Sanchez, Berger, Gordon, Lopez, Bruin, and Fortes. For the Tigers: Vierling, Ibanez, Perez, Kanya, Urshela, Carpenter, Torkelson, Baez, and Carson Kelly. Take it away, Jose. What is your plan here?
Yeah, no action here again. I remember distinctly watching Trevor Rogers come out of the game last time and just fucking being furious, just threw all of his shit in the dugout, fucking just had one of those tantrums. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about these. We'll see how he comes out next start. And if he comes out and he pitches well, I just don't trust either pitcher enough here. The line moving to the over made sense. If this is a lefty, I consider fading the Marlins here. But their numbers against righties, let's pull up what they've done this month. I'm sure it's better than what they've done against lefties because it can't be worse. 98 weighted runs created plus, about average so far this month against righties. And by the way, their numbers against lefties, 65 weighted runs created plus this month so far. So that's a big difference, obviously. Full season against righties, the Marlins are 26th 87 weighted runs created plus, so they're hitting them a little better recently, it seems. But yeah, no action for me. I just stayed off of this game. I thought Casey Mize was a little bit too much juice.
Yeah. My dude loving the Tigers today. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay off of it. And I'm gonna have to stay off it. I just, the sharp trap saved me. I would have lost money on the Twins yesterday, so I'm listening. I'm listening to the sharp traps. I'm listening to cash cow situations. I know this is not a cash cow situation. Mikey Money says fade Trevor Rogers. Look, he's been terrible. 6.57 ERA, 1.86 whip, 0-6. But I think he's better than that last start showed, and I don't feel it. I'm gonna have to stay off this. But this was initially, you guys know I want to back Casey Mize. I want to back Casey Mize at home, but something just doesn't feel right about this and about this market not moving quickly towards the Tigers. So I am off here. Robert Martin says strong to severe thunderstorms are possible for Texas and Oklahoma panhandles on this afternoon and evening. Affect any games? We will go over that, but I doubt. Joey River says Detroit not in good form. Look, I'm off. I can't move on it. Jose, you are off as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates 19-24, 10-12 on the road. The Milwaukee Brewers 25-17, 11-9 at home. We're at Merrick Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have Martin Perez on the hill, coming off a 5-4 loss at home versus the Angels. 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walk. 3.60 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. Look, I bet Jose Quintana games, and I bet Martin Perez games. I think that there's a vividness bias of these pitchers being terrible, and they're not. They're decent lefties. And we have Robert Gasser. Mally Mal says Jimmy passing on all the matinee action. Mally Mal, do you want me to tell you how many afternoon games there are today? Because it's going to be hard for me to tell you how many afternoon games there are without being a dick. Really hard. So I'm not going to tell you, Mally Mal, how many afternoon games there are. But you're right. I passed on the first 2 afternoon games, Mally Mal. So change the fucking channel if you want. 1:10 p.m. Eastern, Pirates, Brewers, Gasser here. We've already heard from Smoothball's play of the day. Robert Gasser over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 122. So we have a guy moving on Gasser strikeouts. Gasser's first start was a thing of beauty. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 Ks, no walks. It was a thing of beauty. Pirates versus lefties, 247, 28 OPS. Brewers versus lefties, 214, 656 OPS. Pirates bullpen has been bad. The Brewers bullpen has not been very good either. You could say very average, but they have converted 15 of 20 save opportunities. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Another thing is, I bet these games. So I'm not just going to, hand out picks. I bet these games, and I risk our family's future as well. Did I mention that? The whole family's trying to save $8 at the grocery store when I've got $5K on the day's action? Trying to get an extra deal on bagged milk. Fucking bagged milk, trying to get the cheapest bagged milk we can find, and they have no idea that our whole lives are in peril.
Bagged milk sounds horrifying.
So this isn't just for fun. This isn't just I'm on the Tigers -1. Track it, Jose. All right, this total is at 8 -110 to the over. Opened up at 8.5, half run move to the under. And on the money line here, we have Milwaukee at -144. Open up at -135, 9-cent move towards Milwaukee. And then when we get to the cash flow in this one, 57% of tickets, 56% of cash on the over. And on the money line, 88% of tickets, 63% of cash. So there is sharp action coming in on these Pittsburgh Pirates and Martin Perez. Take it away, Jose. Pirates, Brewers.
Yeah, no action for me here again. I just don't have a good feel about either of these teams. I didn't watch Gasser's first start against the Cardinals, so I didn't have a good read on him. And it was amazing. And what are the odds he does that again here when, his minor league numbers weren't that great? I just took a peek at his spring numbers. They weren't even that good. So what are the odds he does it again? I don't know. It's a Pirates offense I don't trust, obviously, and gun to head here. If I'm making a bet, it's Pirates for me. Martin Perez, I trust over, a guy that I've, literally never seen pitch before and has pitched once in the big leagues, had a good start, but we'll see. And Milwaukee against lefties has not been good this year. 20th, 91 weighted runs created plus. This month specifically, probably don't have a big sample size. 61 plate appearances, so probably not even enough to mention, but they've been average as well. So I like the Pirates here. Just no action for me in this game yet, or not on my card yet, I should say.
Gasser is no, Rem, you didn't miss that portion. I would never say that to Mally Mal. He's an OG low bagger, but so I would never. Not going to rest anything on the bridge of Mally Mal's nose. Mally Mal has that. He comfortably knows that no ball sacks will come near him. Here, the second round pick 2021 draft, he didn't look that good in 3 starts for Nashville in AAA this year. He looked excellent last year. That was the year, right? 9-1, 3.79 ERA. We went over his numbers. I don't know. Nufflush Allen says Pirates can be tricky because they try to act like they know how to hit, says Nufflush Allen. Robert Franklin also on the over 5.5 Ks. Nasty stuff. My dude says, love the Tigers today. Their lineup is looking good today. Love the Tigers. Look, my dude, take it home and go get it. Raven in the Desert says umpire, 3.6 home, 3.3 road. So he's looking at the under there.
I like to think that Jimmy off screen just has it's like a pencil, little holder, but it's just full of chopsticks. That's why I like to think that he has just a few feet this way. And if you just reach that way, he could grab it and grab one just in case.
It would be a nice superhero thing to put together here. Honestly, there's a move towards the Milwaukee Brewers and Robert Gasser. He looked really good in his first start. But the Pirates hit. Okay, what are the Pirates left numbers against? Because they're hitting 247, 28 versus lefties. If you go over numbers versus lefties, that's top 10 in the league right now. Teams are struggling against lefties. Jose, what are the Pirates numbers against lefties in the last 14 days?
Last few days, they're 120 plate appearances, 102 weighted runs created plus. So about average, above average. But that's pretty good for the Pirates, if we're going to be honest. So full season, by the way, they are 13th, 109. So a little worse, but still pretty good.
And the Brewers suck against lefties. California Bet says Brewers hitting really well during day games. Joe Rivers says Gasser might be trash today, but give me the better team. Look, this is a coin flippy situation here. The market moving towards the Brewers. What's Gasser going to do in his second ever start? There's a little bit of tape on him. I'm going to have to move. Abrams out for the Nationals.
There goes their whole offense.
Because that's our next game on the board, 2:10 p.m. Eastern. And Troy Torrance says this is a Pirate spot in his opinion per the database. Yeah, the bigger bets are on the Pirates, so it's a little befuddling. Here we go. We have the spreadsheet play of the day dog. That's now 2-1 plus 2.28 units. The spreadsheet dog's been running so well that Ron Crawford's putting it out. And it is these Washington Nationals for Ron Crawford as the spreadsheet dog play of the day. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Patrick Corbin, who cashed for us against the Red Sox. Now, we only were on the under, full game under, so we didn't have him against the Red Sox, but, we talked about it. We didn't get there. And Garrett Crochet coming off a big bounce-back performance. 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts, no walks, and a 6-3 win at home versus Guardians. So now he's got consecutive home starts. White Sox are the worst team in the league against lefties, 194, 546 OPS. So you can imagine that Corbin set up to have a decent start. Nats versus lefties, 218, 635 OPS here. So both bullpens are pitching really well. Right when I thought the White Sox bullpen was going to completely fall apart, they've been pitching quite a bit better. Old E in the house. Great to see you. Jared Dahmer says, titties on the sloppy game play of the day. Oh, just White Sox suck. Just information. Robert Martin doesn't trust Crochet and Jarek White on the over 7.5. Let's get into the situation here. We'll start with the weather over on the south side. 60 Fahrenheit, 12.8 miles per hour left to right. Stays between 12.8 and like 13 miles per hour. It's not, it's left to right, just beyond the left field pole. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the Nats right now sitting at plus 129, now plus 132. They open up plus 129. It's hard to believe that the White Sox would be favored, against anybody. It's just shocking. From a total scenario, we have a 7. This opened up at 8, and this dropped all the way to 7. This was at 8. You could have got the under 8 at minus 108 at 8.12 this morning. In my thought process was I saw it go down and then come back up, and I was like, we'll talk about it on the show. The last thing I thought was we'd be sitting here and it'd be a 7. That is a surprise. When we get,
Really?
Yeah,
I jumped in. Run. No, well, I jumped in. Well, I saw it at 7.5, and I saw it juiced, and I saw 7 starting to pop up, and I was like, okay, well, this is going to go down to 7, so I jumped in at the 7.5. I'll say that
makes sense. 19% of the tickets, 36% of cash on the Nationals, and on the total, we have 88% of tickets, 83% cash on the over. Kelly McInnes first 5 under 4, and stacks play today is Tommy Pham over 1.5 bases.
Tommy Pham.
Wine Time Sports on White Sox money line. Billy Friedrich on White Sox first 5 money line. Crochet's been very good his last 2 starts. Take it away for us here, Jose. Nats, White Sox, bum fight, and we love bum fights. Take it away.
By the way, very intriguing. Nutflush in the chat saying he's getting ready to launch Operation Nutflush. Very interested to see what that has to do. Jesus. Very interested to see what that is.
Really interested.
Yeah, I took the under in this game. First bet of the day, one of the few I've made. Under 7.5. I got minus 125, so unfortunately I had to pay the juice, but whatever. I took it. Garrett Crochet on a nice little run right now. It's nice that CJ Abrams is out as well because he's good on this Nationals team. He's the thing that kind of gets them going. But both these teams are not good against lefties. Corbin coming off of a good start does worry me a little bit. But the White Sox are not good against lefties. So under for me here, 7.5 minus 125. I in my head, because I've been suffering from a lot of bullpen collapses recently, I feel like I should have taken first 5 in this game, but I'm going to stick with my full game and be ready for the full game under here. So I'm on it, but I do like a first 5 under in this game as well, obviously, since I like full game.
I want to join Kelly McInnes, and it's expensive. It's going to cost minus 121 on the first 5 under 4, but I would like to join him. Aubrey Travis says Patrick Corbin is hot garbage.
Definitely can be.
There's a couple things here. Now, the Nats are no longer the worst team in the league. The White Sox are. But Gas Station Sushi used to talk about how much value there was on the worst 5 Major League Baseball teams in the league. That there was just a ton of value on them. And I thought there was a ton of value in Patrick Corbin, and it's cost me. It didn't cost me it hasn't cost me this year, pretty much, but it's cost me overall. I think that there's times where Patrick Corbin can deliver for us, and he's just coming off a performance where he delivered. I want this first 5 under 4, and I want to bet it right now. Shout out to Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Guillermo, Preakness, baby, on Saturday, but Muth has been scratched, so we're not going to be able to watch Baffert in the winner's circle. Much to.
I hate people that juice their horses. Shout out to Martin Drexler.
Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to move on this first 5 under, Jose. So we have a very, very interesting game next. Reds, Diamondbacks. And I'm going to have you open that one up so I can get my action in. But you are on the under 7.5 at minus 125, Jose. And I'm going to be on the first 5 under 4 here. First 5 under 4 minus 121. So I'm going to get my action in, Jose. Take it away for our next spot on the board. 340 action, Cincinnati Reds, Arizona Diamondbacks, and my guy. I like both these guys, but Brandon Pfaadt, he really is my guy. Fat Wally says White Sox best ROI in first 5 so far this season. And Newcork says wide open race now that Muth is scratched. I kind of wanted to single Muth and just whatever. Take it away for us here, Mr. Bouquet, and let me get my action.
Sure. Let's talk about Fott, who we both love. Struggled all year last year, broke out in the playoffs. We kind of all know the story by now. 3 consecutive 6-inning appearances for Fott. None of them particularly that good. A good start against the Orioles at the Orioles. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. No strikeouts in that. Very interesting, but a pretty good start there. Against the Padres at home, 6 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned. Not good there. And then before that against Seattle, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run. 11 Ks, no walks there. Solid start against the Seattle Mariners. So he's been solid basically all year. No real dominant starts from Fott, though. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Andrew Abbott on the other side, quality lefty. You know, Lodolo overshadows him for lefties in this rotation, but he's still very good. Coming off a good start in his own right as well against the Giants. At the Giants, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run there. Against the Orioles at home, he pitched pretty well as well. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs there on 2 home runs, 8 Ks. No strikeouts there, or no walks there, excuse me. Market in this game. Let's talk about where this opened for me. I have this opening up at minus 133 at BetOnline, now up to minus 139 here. Got up to minus 143 at one point, but there was slight buyback. I actually got up to minus 149 at one point at 2 a.m. and then got down there. Let's check out our friends at Bookmaker to see as well what they did with this line. Opening up at minus 135, Chicago White Sox. They have it at minus 160 now, Chicago White Sox.
Why are we talking about the White Sox?
We're not talking. Oh, sorry. I was looking at White Sox. Apologies.
No,
looking at Diamondbacks. Excuse me there. I had my mind on Garrett Crochet there again. But this opened up at minus 139, like I said, excuse me. So we have it at minus 137 at Heritage. Minus 136 now. Very interesting. No movement for the money splits on this game there. Very interesting. 89% of the bets and 93% of the money on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Totals wise here, let's talk about the money and the total to start this off one here. 75% of the bets and 78% of the money on the over in this game. This opened up at a 9, minus 110 for the total, and is now down to an 8.5 across the board here.
Pinnacles just moved it back to 9.
All right, very interesting.
But it's not a real 9. It's minus 117 to the over and plus 104 to the under. Oh, sorry. Other way around. Minus 117 to the under, plus 104 to the over.
Yeah, I gave it a refresh. Bovada has it as a 9 again, juice to the under. But interesting. I mean, I'd lean under with these pitchers. I do like both of them as well. Diamondbacks against lefties. Let's check that out in the last few days here, because if you guys have tapped in, you guys know that the Diamondbacks are the best hitting team against lefties all season. 141 weighted runs created plus so far this season. Started this month, beginning of May here. 83 plate appearances, 128 weighted runs created plus. So still hitting them pretty hard as well. So that's kind of sketchy there. We're against righties. Let's check out what the Reds are doing this month here. Reds against righties, almost dead last. 79 weighted runs created plus, 26th in the league there. So I can see why the Diamondbacks are favored. Do you trust the Reds offense away from home? I do not. I probably lean under, but no action for me.
I'm surprised that the line isn't moving towards the Diamondbacks. There was just a 6-cent move back to the Cincinnati Reds. It comes as a surprise to me. You have Fott coming off a loss at the Orioles where, we know what. Now, the Orioles aren't hitting right. I got to keep that in mind, that the Orioles are an average team against righties right now. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, a quality start. Didn't get a strikeout, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
He's not trying to do too much. But Abbott coming off a strong start at the Giants, like you said, Diamondbacks 306, 852 OPS for lefties. I'm surprised. I can completely understand why 89% of tickets and 93% of cash is on the Diamondbacks. What I can't understand is the book showing no concern.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. And it seems like maybe the Reds or Bats are going to come alive today, but I don't know. I don't trust it here.
And I don't. We know the roof is closed today and tomorrow, and the market, is moving now back to the over. Which is, 75% of tickets, 78% of cash on the over. If it didn't move back to the over, I would want the under. But enough that this didn't. Yeah, this I'm not going to have to. I'm not going to be able to be involved here. Streamline Gaming says, "I'm telling you, every time we are both on the Orioles, they lose." So
Streamline. I think I've only bet the Orioles like twice this year. Streamline. So I don't know.
Let's roll on. Dana Delp liking the Reds under. I get why anybody would like the under here. I'm not going to be able to move on it. Unfortunately, let's just take one last look. I just want to look at that total one last time here before we move on. It would be if it stayed at 8.5, I would be on it. But it is not. And oh my goodness, that didn't just happen. No, it didn't. I don't know why it says that. Let me refresh this. It says that there was just a huge move on the under at Pinnacle. Just refresh this. Go back to it. It says there was just a monstrous move back to the under. A huge, huge move 1 minute ago. A huge move. It's at 8.
Wow. Let me refresh my shit now too. An 8, that'd be crazy. They bump it up and just plummet it right back down to 8. Obviously, everyone in the chat let us know as well. Bet Online. I'm gonna refresh Bet Online here as well. Look at the site individually. I'm still seeing 8.5s as well.
Yeah, I mean
but that's crazy.
It just happened.
Yeah. Is that obviously going to make you move on the under?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. I have concerns with both these bullpens, so I'm gonna move on the first 5 under in this one. So, but the key is, can Andrew Abbott slow down this Diamondbacks offense?
Yeah, that's the whole game. That's the whole game about the under, I guess.
Well, let's just take a look at Abbott. What's happened when he's faced the best left? Because you went through Kikuchi's work against the best left-handed teams, and he
dominated the Orioles. Not his last start, but his start previous.
Yeah, 2 starts ago. And he took down the field. This is it. I'm moving on to first 5 under right now. I'm with you, Aubrey, but I'm going to just use first 5. Not that I don't like both. So I'm going to move on this, right now. Wow, I'm going to move on this right now. So I got to move on this right now. Jose, can you then again set up our next spot? Colorado Rockies, San Diego Padres.
Sure. Austin Gomber, we've talked about him plenty of times. He is one of those guys that is very sneaky good in the first 5 innings. Again, we've talked about it plenty of times, so I don't have to keep mentioning it at this point, but he was the king of the first 5 innings last year. Has been pretty profitable for me this year. His last 2 starts, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, one of them earned against the Rangers at home, excuse me. And especially at Coors, that's amazing. 6 shutout against the Pirates. Got touched up against the Astros, but still went 7 innings, 4 earned runs there. And he just had a solid year this year, but probably the best pitcher on the Rockies. Going up against Michael King at minus 200 for Michael King. I think it's a little excessive, obviously, and a little excessive for the Padres. But it's just tough to back the Rockies here, and especially coming off of a win yesterday as well. I lean Rockies heavily. King's last 2 starts have been amazing. Back-to-back shutouts. Truthfully, I don't think he can keep this up. That's another reason why I think he can get bounced here. 7 innings, 2 hits, 11 Ks, 3 walks against the Dodgers, 6 shutout against the Arizona Diamondbacks at the Diamondbacks. It's going to be questionable to say the least. So let's talk about the market first here. We're talking Michael King here. So let's check out what Bet Online opened this up. Minus 141, no movement there. Bovada opened this at minus 250 up to minus 260. And we'll look at Heritage real quick. Heritage has minus 236 opener, about 237 now. So not much movement there. Money line movement here. That's 93% of the bets and 92% of the money on the Padres. Not much movement. Very interesting. And sharp money seems like it's on the under in this game. Only 10% of the bets, but 58% of the money on the under in this game. This opened up at a 7 juice to the over, and we're starting to see sevens. This opened up at a juice 7.5 minus 120, and we're starting to see sevens across the board there. So it's very interesting indeed. This example, Bovada opened this 7.5 juice to the over minus 120. Now we're seeing a 7 over minus 125 here for this game. So that makes sense to me here. I consider a first 5 under in this game. Again, if you guys are looking at it, again, this was the game yesterday. I bet the under for basically the same movement. We'll check out the money line the totals market here in a second, but first 5 seemed to be the move yesterday. This total also went from 4 first 5 to 3.5, so that's good here as well. It's a good sign. It's a plus money 3.5 though, so you could tell me again that's actually a 4, and I believe you. But the money line or the total for this, like I mentioned, 10% of the bets and 58% of the money on the under. And the line has moved down. Definitely is appealing for total bettors unders. I don't think I will be moving on it. 3.5 just seems a little bit too light for me, and I didn't want to bet a full game under in this game again. So I lean under, and I lean Rockies, but no action for me here, Jimmy. What do you think?
I think the under is the play here. 8.3 miles per hour to right field, gets up to 9. So, and it's not too cool. So the weather isn't maybe not playing in our hands, but you can pay for the first 5 under 4, and it's not ridiculous. The first 5 under 4, it is minus 125.
I'm getting minus 120 for mine.
I would bet that immediately if I got it, and I still might bet it. It's minus 128 at Pinnacle. It's minus 125 at 365. If I got a minus 120, I would bet it right now. Joe Yeager says Gomber gets bombered. The Padres 202, 632 OPS versus lefties. They're just not hitting them. Rockies 245, 685 OPS. I don't dislike the full game here. I don't dislike it, but I would much prefer the first 5. And I'm going to move on.
I'll ride. I'm on it. First 5 under 4 minus 120.
I am going to. Oh, sorry, Justin, Joe. Sorry. Again, sleep is an issue because Jose can go to sleep at a reasonable hour and not watch his action. And I don't know. God bless you, Jose. God bless you.
No, got shit to do.
So do I, but I can't do anything if I don't know what the hell's going on with my action. I can't.
I also went to the movies last night as well and watched Challengers. So I have to appease Helga every once in a while as well.
Oh, I couldn't care at all. There's not even the tiniest. I have no questions. 0 questions. Let's get into this spot. I'm going to move on it. Did you just move on the first 5 under?
Yep.
I'm going to move on it. So here we are again. You're going to have to start off another game, and it's a game I want to talk about so badly, and that's Royals Mariners. But I'll be listening to you get it started. So and then Cab joins us in the game after this for Mets Phillies. That's the first game for Daby Cab, 6:40 p.m. But we have Royals Mariners. I got to get this action in again, Jose.
Sure. So let's talk Alec Marsh, who comes off the IL and dominates.
Bet on. I watched that whole game. He looked awesome, in control of everything, putting pitches exactly where he wanted them. Sorry.
Probably his best start so far. Him this one and then going against the Orioles at the Angels. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run on a home run, 7 Ks, 2 walks there. Just good. Just flat good there as well. So it seems as if the Royals might have developed themselves a really good pitcher there. So I shout out to them. He's been really solid, like we've mentioned. He's coming off that start, Jimmy, talking about how good he's been against Brian Wu. I am shocked to see pitching again here. He pitched phenomenally, 4 1/3 one-hit ball, but he came out with elbow soreness. And I was like, wow, okay, well, we're going to see him in 3 months. But he's back on the bump here. Seemed to just be a precautionary thing. Dominated the A's, like we mentioned again, 4 1/3, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk. I'm a little scared about that elbow. We'll see how that progressive. Let's talk about the money line market in this game here. 80% of the bets and 73% of the money on the Seattle Mariners here. And this line has not moved much. Minus 143 opener, now minus 142 at BetOnline. Has gone down at BetOnline at one point, then climbed back up. Typically see that a lot, though. Bovada opened this up at minus 147. It's up to it's down. Got up to minus 152 and then minus 141 now here as well. So it seems like the Royals are definitely alive in this ball game as well. Heritage, the only book that has seemingly moved it up from where it once was minus 135 opener, now minus 140 here. So it's very interesting. Totals market in this game. 86% of the bets and 85% of the money on the over. And this opened up at a juiced under minus 120. It is now 7.5 here. So very interesting indeed. I probably again lean under, but I just don't trust Brian Wu here, Jimmy. What do you think?
I'm right with you. When Brian Wu came up, we knew he was this K specialist. We knew that he had velocity and was dominant, and he didn't really show it that he could. We saw the speed, but he didn't show that he could shut down the opposition. And I thought it was probably a good sign in that 8-1 win at home over the A's that he only had 3 strikeouts, that he wasn't trying to do too much. But I'm right with you. And what I see from Alec Marsh is bet on. So now you heard the opening line at BetOnline. The opening line at Penny opened. It's only been 6 cents of movement to the under at Pinnacle from the 5 p.m. opener yesterday. But that still, I think, is enough for me if 86% of tickets and 85% cash are on the over. In saying that, if I do question Wu, then just bet Marsh. Just bet Alec Marsh. Why would I want to do anything else? I'm going to get plus lines here. So we're gonna question Wu. You know, he gets so amped up for his starts. I did not know about this elbow information that you're talking. I know that it was his first start off the IL, but I didn't know he was bothered afterward. But I want Marsh.
Yeah, he had to come out of the start early, I believe. You guys know, and obviously in the chat would correct me if I'm wrong here. I know you guys are the first to do it, so we appreciate that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he came out with some elbow discomfort, and like I said, I was shocked to see him.
Let me just get a quick update here on what the hell's going on here with Wu. Yeah, probable starter. Interesting. So it was more forearm tightness. Huh. Wow. I mean, it was being downplayed, but forearm tightness. Yeah, look, I get unders. I completely get them. Nutflush Allen says, if you can wait on KC, wait. I will know more today. And that is another issue. There's some inside info about an illness going through that lineup. Huh.
Kansas City?
Yeah. We'll find out here as we get more information. Okay.
Yeah, I'm off. I lean Kansas City, though.
I'm going to move on in first 3 and first 5, but I guess I don't need to bet this while the show's on. But if there is like sickness issues, then I think the under is probably in play. I mean, the Royals are just not hitting 237, 696 OPS versus righties. Mariners 224, 665 OPS here. The Mariners bullpen's elite. The Royals bullpen's pretty good. A stomach bug going through. Voodoo Rangers saying both bullpens have been susceptible recently. Yeah, Mariners bullpen hasn't been, the dominant. Okay, well, I'll wait to get the info from Mike, but my plan is to be on Royals first 3 and Royals first 5. But if we hear that there's a stomach bug going through, then the under, maybe just what Aubrey Travis is doing on the first 5 under. But I'd be fine with the full game under as well, and that's what Mike is on. So okay, so I'm going to be all over this game. This is with the total and with the side. This is all falling into place for me. So we'll wait to hear from Mike. So you guys will know if I tweet out the Royals first 3 and first 5, I'm not too concerned about this stomach bug. And if I only tweet out like the first 5 under, then I do believe that the stomach bug is an issue. Mikey, money on that under 7.5. That's Royals, Mariners. Let's roll on to the end. Jose, were you close or no?
I've been very committed to keeping the card tight today, so I wasn't close, and I didn't get to watch Alex Marsh's previous start as close as you did, so I don't have
this
as
guy
good
could
of a
put
read.
the ball
So.
anywhere he wanted to. Alec Marsh is bet on.
And you have a high ROI when you go on limbs with pitchers like this, Soriano, Detmers. I forget. There's someone else that you did this recently with, and I forgot who it is. But you do have a high ROI when it comes to these games.
I just was, 8-1 on unders yesterday felt good, moving in the right direction. Let's move on to the next spot on the board and bring on our guest here on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays here on Betting with the Bag. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, star of Medicate Mondays, Mr. Daby Cab to the telecast. Daby, how are you?
Muted early. Thank you, Jose, for the heads up. I'm good, man. Ready to make some money this week. You got me thinking about that bag chocolate milk that I had in 3rd grade earlier today. So thanks for the nostalgia there, Jimmy. But I'm ready to go, man. These Phillies have been a cash cow for me. Shout out to our guy, Troy Torrance.
Isn't it nuts, though, when your wife's trying to save a few dollars and has no idea how much of money is in play that evening?
So, when I was in school, it was simple. You got a little bag of milk, you stabbed it with the straw, and you drank it. But how do you, disperse bag milk when it's, for a family?
Well, you take scissors and you chop off a tiny corner, Cab. Then you pour it. All right, let's get to work here. New York Mets at Philadelphia Phillies. These Mets 19-22, 9-8 on the road. Philadelphia Phillies 30-13, 15-7 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Joey Lucchesi story. We have this every year. Every year, Joey Lucchesi earns the right to be promoted by pitching very well in AAA and pitches decent in Major League Baseball. And then we wonder, why is he not a starter? He gets 4 or 5 starts where he looks pretty good, and then he, starts getting touched. But here we are again, going up against Ranger Suarez, who has been so good this year. Daby, you being a backer of Ranger Suarez throughout. Mets are hitting 224, 659 OPS versus lefties, while the Phillies 267, 752 OPS. This Mets bullpen just continues to deliver. Now, I know Diaz had the mess up, but it's just going to happen. If you look at converted save opportunities in Major League Baseball, it's a pitiful number. Absolutely pitiful. The Mets are 10 of 16. Phillies are 13 of 19. That's the top half of the league. That's not bad. Phillies bullpen's been getting better this season, gone on 4.37 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Suarez and the Phillies sitting at minus 197. They opened up at Pinnacle at minus 172. That wasn't until 11:55 tonight. Last night, excuse me. And this got up to minus 204. 13 minutes ago, it dropped down to minus 197. So 27 cents of movement towards the Philadelphia Phillies. From a total side of things, sorry, God, I didn't have this set up right. From a total side of things, we are dealing with a 7.5 minus 115 to the under. This opened up at 7.5 plus 105 to the under. Immediately went up to 8. This spent from midnight until 9:30 in the morning at 8. Then it moves to 7.5, and it starts getting hammered at 7.5. 2 hours ago, or a little less than 2 hours ago, this was minus 118 to the under 7.5. Now it's minus 115 to the under 7.5. Let's get into the weather and the cash flow for this one. We have 92% of tickets and 88% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. We have 71% of tickets and 72% of cash on the over. 71 and 72 on the over, and it keeps dropping. There's drizzle to start the game off, and then there's light rain later in the game. So I don't know exactly how it's going to bang out. 14.5 miles per hour in, and it's cold. Here we go. Daby Cab. Joe Yerkford says Phillies team total over. It looks good. Aubrey Travis says Phillies run line this and the next game. A Ranger Suarez under 5.5 hits allowed for Voodoo Ranger. And Joe Yerkford says can't fade the Phillies here. Billy Friedrich says Phillies are 29-14 on the first 5 run line this season. Best in Major League Baseball. Take it away, Dabra Kadabra. Mets Phillies. Best bet time.
Yeah, I tell you what, these games feel like they've been playing to the under. Even though 2 games ago it was 5-4, it went over. It took extra innings for that to get over. And the Phillies had to put up 2 runs in the 9th inning just to tie the game at 4-4. So it was 2-4 going into that 9th inning. And then yesterday they won 4-0. One thing that has been cashing, though, even with these games playing under, is the Phillies team total over. It has not stopped cashing since last Thursday. It's cashed every game since then, even the game that they lost against Miami 6-7. It was 4.5 in that game, and they were able to cash it. I'll talk about the sides here for a little bit, but everybody should know where I'm leaning here. Phillies have won 3 of their last 4 games and 11 of their last 12 home games. So offensively, obviously they've been rolling. They put up 19 runs in their last 3 home games. I don't see any reason why that's going to stop here, Jimmy. Even with the rain, even with the cold weather, you're only asking for 4 runs. And in 2 of the last 3 games, like the last game that they won 4-0 and the game before that, they won 5-4. They had to put up runs in the 9th inning to get their team total over. So it's not like they've just been mashing. They've been barely getting there. And I think today's a day where they mash. I got the Phillies team total over 4 at -120. I'm going to be honest. I got to go in there and double check and make sure they didn't kick my bet because I thought I had Quintana when I bet it, but he's pitching tomorrow now. But I got their team total over 4 at -120. So let me see if I can still get that.
Yeah. Lucchese's I've always found him tricky because this is a pitcher who, 30 years old, he earns these opportunities. And I've always found him tricky to figure out early. Right now, Pinnacle has that team total at 4.5 at +106. So if you could get that 4 at -120, it's decent. Joey Harbsing 4.5 as well. Let's hear what Jose has to say about this spot, Mets Phillies.
Yeah, I lean under here as well. Lucchese coming up, motivated as hell to pitch, I'm sure. Just the Phillies smash lefties is the issue. And yeah, I had Quintana to start this off, obviously, as well. And now it's Lucchese. So I'm staying off. Not enough movement in the totals market to get me on the under, unfortunately. I had this at an 8, and it seems like the pitching change moved this to a 7.5, would be my guess. But I just too much muddled information, so nothing here for me.
What happened with your action, Cab?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rebet it, Jimmy. I don't want to just give something out. So between now and when I come back on, I'll have it figured out. Does that work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool. Because I want to bet. I want to give out what I can bet, and I don't necessarily want a 4.5. But if I'm going to have to pay too much for the 3 or for the 4, then I'm going to have a decision to make here.
And
sorry about that. I didn't realize I did that.
Don't worry. That's part of this. It's just part of the it's real. It's all real. So
So I want to say what Joe. This is one thing I meant to touch on and didn't. He said Harper should be back in. Phillies have been resting people here against the Mets. Schwarber was out 2 games ago. Harper was out yesterday. They're giving people breaks here, and I think they're going to be back to. I think they're going to be back to 100% here. And I agree with Nutflush. Shout out to our guy Nutflush. He said he tries to avoid 4.5. So I really wanted that 4. So I'm going to go see if I can get something out there, but I gotta shop a little bit.
No problem. Daby Cab will be back here for Guardians Rangers. I don't want you to leave just this second. I just want to sit here with this for a little bit longer. I hate sitting here there's a reason why Joey Lucchese is not on a major league roster when they break to start the year every year. So I don't want to get too hung up on the fact that he earns his opportunities to get these starts. We know what the Phillies do versus lefties. But he's sneaky. He's sneaky And I kind of agree with Jose about how good he is. The Mets, about how important this start is to him. And then Suarez is going to dice these Mets up 224, 659 versus lefty. Suarez just rolling right now. I mean, he's absolutely rolling. So, yeah, I guess. But then the rain is going to be involved here. I guess I'm going to have to stay off at this point. And are you staying off here as well, Jose, at this point?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm off. I'm on the next game. I'm passing a lot today, so I'm sorry about that, chat. I know it bothers some people, but as Jimmy says, our fucking lives are on the line. I took it right on the fucking bottom mouth last night. I'm already down with my local, and I cannot be fucking chasing all week. That is the worst feeling in the world.
It is.
Jimmy, my cutoff is minus 130, but I think I'll take that minus 133. If you can give me the 4 at minus 133, that I'm that heat set, I'll take that.
All right, you got it. Phillies team total.
Usually I don't go over minus 130, but it's baseball season, and fuck, sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm right around. I kind of push it to minus 135 sometimes, but even those, like I kind of bet them quietly and don't tweet those out,
Yeah, I get it.
Because I get it. Like you don't want to put anything over minus 130. But yeah, I get it. Okay, Daby Cab moving on to Phillies. Team total over 4 minus 133. I'm at Heat. Thank you for finding that over at Caesars. And Daby Cab comes back for Texas Rangers baseball. Daby, we will see you shortly. Caesar. Jose and I move on 7:10 p.m. Eastern with the Tampa Bay Rays 21-22. 7-10 on the road at the Boston Red Sox, 22-20, 10-11 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston. We have Taj Bradley with his second start. His first start was a thing of beauty. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 2-0 loss at home to the Yankees. He shoved. And Tanner Houck coming off that 5-1 loss at home to the Nationals. 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk. That was the Houck start against Patrick Corbin. We cashed the full game under on that one. Houck was good, but he wasn't dominant here. So Rays are not hitting 237, 675 OPS versus righties. Red Sox 241, 711 OPS. This Red Sox bullpen is lights out right now. They're just full of confidence, getting the job done. 3.12 ERA, 1.17 whip converted 10 of 18. 1-0 Orioles, says our guy Joe Yurkovich. 1-0 Orioles. Rays bullpen 4.54 ERA, 1.36 whip converted 12 of 21. Leadoff bomb. Wow. So let's roll.
Who hit the bomb?
Joe. Who's hitting lead? It was a leadoff bomb, so that bomb was hit by Westberg.
Yeah,
sneaky against lefties at Westberg.
Fucking everybody on that team's good.
All right, so here we go. Jose's Boston Red Sox in action here. Wine Time Sports on the Rays plus 110. What was so interesting was I had the Rays at plus 101 yesterday, but in my head, and we talked about the total so long. Lamont Williams max betting the under 8.5 had moved up to 9. In my head, when I was watching the game, I thought I had the under too. So I thought when it went to extras, I thought I was going to lose double, and I was so angry. I was going to lose because I had gotten off to a great. I was 4-0 going to that game, and I'm like, 4-2. I was so pissed off, and then I went back to my action. I was like, That's okay. That's how much I ride with Lamont Williams max bets. I thought I was on it as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at the line history here as well as the weather at Fenway. We have 71 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour to left field. Dies down to 6.4 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history then for this spot. Oh, God, sorry. What the hell's going on? Yeah, here we go. Okay, we have on the total for the Rays Red Sox, we're sitting here with an 8 minus 108 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, so we have a half-run move towards that under. And on the money line, we are sitting here with the Red Sox at minus 126, opened up at minus 139. So a legit move towards Bradley and the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if we're correlating here. This is a coin flip. 51% of the tickets, 57% of cash on the under. It's moved towards the under, despite not having too much on it. And then on the money line, we have 24% of tickets and 38% cash on the Rays. You watch Houck very closely. He didn't look great in that start at home against the Nationals. Bradley looked excellent. Take it away, Jose. Rays and under. I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm on the Rays. This is one of my few bets I have in this card. Like I've said, I bet this is actually my first bet I put of the day. Plus 114 for me. You kind of mentioned it, Jimmy, and laid out the case here. 76% of the bet, 62% of the money on the Boston Red Sox, and it's moved towards the Rays here. I think Houck is very good. But I don't know. I don't think he necessarily gets touched up here. Maybe it's just me being a biased fan here. I don't know. He's been solid all year, so it's kind of tough for me to see him getting touched. This is only the second division series the Boston Red Sox have had all year. So I'm very interested to see what these pitchers that have pitched really well outside of division do now when they go against teams that have seen them before. So that's going to be very interesting for me. I like I said, I think the Red Sox do lose this game and they end up splitting tomorrow. But I'd bet the Rays here. The market just seems like it's screaming Rays to me. And I believe in Taj Bradley. Now, we talked about him last time, Jimmy, and I mentioned falsely that I thought he got DFA'd or sent down and then came back up in one of those roles that we kind of like for a minor league pitcher. But I think he just was a really forgotten guy last year. Like, when he came up, there was a lot of hype about him, and then he kind of leveled off, was shit, and then got hurt, and then kind of got forgotten. I think that Taj is one of those dudes that are going to come out here with motivation to pitch well here, especially with half of the Rays rotation hurt. I think he's going to pick one of those dudes that's going to pitch for a spot in this rotation in the future and pitch as well here. So if I had to bet aside for the total here, I'm leaning under. Obviously, that tends to be what I bet. But total split was just too split cash flow wise, though the market is dropping that total as well. So under for me as well for the lean, but I did bet the Tampa Bay Rays here.
Well, I want the Rays and I want the under. I don't think there's a need for first 5 under. I think you can focus on full game. I wonder if I need to move on both of them here.
And yeah, the Red Sox bullpen has been phenomenal. I've known or I guess everyone in Boston has known that's going to be a strength of this team forever. It's just the issue, obviously, is the offense. We have a bunch of fucking children up there, so.
Daby Cab saying, I said a week ago, but it's not too late. Get your Astros futures in. It's not too late. I bet mine last night. I only took the division. It wasn't that because you'd been talking about it, Nick Earl been talking about it, Daby Cab talking about it. It wasn't that. What has surprised me is how weak the Rangers and Mariners look.
Yeah, they're just not good. That division's not good.
Yeah.
And the Mariners, the fucking Mariners general manager said himself, I forget what summer it was, they're not trying to go out there and win 90 games. They're trying to win like 80 games every year. They're trying to be like, that's what they've said. And they're not going to do anything with the offense. It's the same fucking Mariners team every year. Really good at pitching. Their pitching is going to be great. But when it comes down to it, you need to hit home runs, and they don't fucking do it. And the Rangers suck. And that's why I think the Oakland A's have a shot. And they are obviously the Oakland A's. So when it comes down to it, I think a shitty Astros team can still probably end up winning this division. You're right. Even though I think, like I said, they're shitty.
It's a free roll for me. Because I put the 5. It's more my second future bet of the year. I got 500 on the Jays under the win total. That's cashing. So that's cashing without a question, without any concern whatsoever. And then I just put that on the Astros at plus 350. So it's a free roll on the Astros. Redbeard says,
Redbeard
says, screwed me big last night on that BS bottom 10th. Yeah, the extra innings game bothered me so much, but mostly because I also thought I was on the under, not just the Rays. I want the Rays in the under. So again, if I gave you free $500 bet right now, Rays first 5 or full game, first 5 or full game under, which one do you take?
I think first 5 actually. Well, it's so tough because, like I said, I think the Rays do win this ball game, and it's like, when are the Rays going to score their runs here? Is the real question for me. Now, I should have done this pre-show, but I'm going to look up what Tanner Houck has done in the past against the Rays right now. And again, shout out to Baseball Reference and StatHead. They have a good player versus team thing that makes it easy to search. So Tanner Houck in 3. Let me see. 3 starts against them. He went 3 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned last year. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned. And then 1 in 2021 that I won't bother. So the Rays seem to see him well as well.
I
guess full game.
I don't want to double up here, but I may have to if it's too difficult for me to decide here. But I'll join you on the Rays and unders. We got Bob Harvard bullish on his Boston teams and bullish on the Red Sox here. But he also says the Phillies first 3 is the best bet on the board from Bob Harvard. All right, let's roll on.
That's a juiced ass fucking number, Bob.
Yeah, he'd need to take the
yeah, Bobby. That's juiced, Bobby.
Yeah.
I need to make a fucking video with a Kool-Aid Man with your face on it. It's Bob. Shit.
Yeah, can we see that Kool-Aid Man with Peter on it? Just bring us back. Bring us back.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
God damn, Bob.
Cuban Connect in the house. All right, let's roll. Chicago Cubs at Atlanta Braves. We're at Truist Park in Hotlanta. These Cubbies 24-19, 11-13 on the road. The Braves 15-4 at home right now. Javier Assad going up against Charlie Morton. Take a look at the weather here to get started. 77 Fahrenheit, 11.7 miles per hour to left field, drops down to 7.5 miles per hour. Bob Harvard bullish about the Bruins. You're in business, Bob. This is the perfect spot for him. You just take the Bruins to win the series, and you're gonna be rich. I mean, this is all falling into your lap. It's too easy, Bob. Too easy,
Bob. I'm rooting for you, dog. As a Boston sports fan, I'm fucking rooting for you too, Bobby. I'm on the same fucking boat. Let's
Bob,
go Bees.
It's too easy. Joe Irvin says, Jimmy, hiding a drink. Yes, I am not hiding it, but I do have coffee and water. Joe, as you know, I like the drink, Joe, and we're making it's a pro. No, I guess that's not. I'm trying to stay alive, Joe. So, and you can tell there's a little bit of I got a bit of an edge when I'm on the sauce, Joe, and I also got a bit of an edge when I'm sober, but it's different. It's very, very
Ask
different.
Mally and Mal about that.
Well, Mally's my guy. But Bob, this is all just falling to your lap. And this is what a gift. Bruins win.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bobby, we're fine, especially with Brad Marchand coming back, right? He's definitely not concussed.
Fuck. Yeah, this is too easy. You guys, what a gift.
Well, if Swayman can pull this off, he's gonna vault into my pantheon of Bruins goalies immediately.
When I hadn't seen the clip of him until after the game. Of course. What a guy Swayman is. Okay, let's roll. Cubbies, Braves. We have Javier Assad, Charlie Morton, and we just talked about the weather. 77 Fahrenheit, 11.7 miles per hour to left field, but it dies down to 7.5. Let's get into the line history here for this one. On the money line, we have these Braves at minus 185. They opened up at minus 159. So just a giant 26-cent move towards the Atlanta Braves. On the total, we are sitting here with a 9 minus 106. This opened up at 8.5. Really interesting. It dropped to 8 at 7:20 this morning. So this was getting juiced to the under at 8.5, and now all of a sudden we are at 9 at a pick'em. So a legit move towards the over. When we get to the cash flow in this, you have 92% of tickets. I don't believe this. This says the same thing in the Yankees game. 92. We've never seen these numbers, have we, Jose? 92% tickets and 100%.
Oh, I think you just hit a refresh. I think you just hit refresh and it'll be fixed. That happened to me before as well. Oh, actually, I refreshed and it's still there. That's on them. I think that's a fucked up thing. But let's just go ahead and assume that might be 99.
100. They're gonna say that every single cent that's been bet has been on the Braves here. 8% of the tickets and 0% of cash. So stupid. Okay, let's get into the total here. So obviously the Braves being backed. On the total, 33% of tickets, 58% cash on the over. Definitely feels like sharp action on the over with Assad and Morton. Again, is that a weather-related situation? I don't want to get too caught up in the wind blowing out because we know it dies down. Assad coming off a 7-2 loss to the Pirates, 4 in the third, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run. He's very strong. And look at Charlie Morton, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Why would the market be moving to the over? Cubs hitting 225, 677 versus righties. Braves 251, 729. Cubs bullpen has not been very good. 4.50 ERA, 1.40. It looks like their weak link. The Braves bullpen has been strong. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, Cubbies, Braves.
Yeah, no action here for me as well. I generally trust both these pitchers, but they've been pitching really well this year. Really well. It might be a stretch, but it might be just time for them to regress a little bit. And Javier Assad facing a Braves offense that, it's been underperforming this year, but I'll still trust them. I still trust this lineup 1-9. And the Cubs, I think, are a better offensive team than they're showing. I don't know what it is with the Cubs. And I guess that's going to be their thing this deadline because they're going to want to win their division, obviously. They need to get bats. Some kind of bats to help them out here. But I lean over, like you said, but I had no action in this game.
Did you lean over initially, or was it the fact that you have 2 good pitchers on the mound, the line's moving towards the over? And look at this. Mikey Money, your grandma wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day, Atlanta in the under 8.5.
What a stubborn bitch. I leaned over initially, honestly.
Were you referring to Mike there or Mike's grandma?
Mike's grandmother, obviously. I mean,
okay. No, that's a relief.
Mike does owe me a steak, so I did win that bet. So I do have that bragging rights.
Tremendous relief. But keep going. Cubbies, Braves.
I just had no action on this game. And by the way, I asked just randomly. I asked Mike what was the thing he missed the most about playing hockey. As you could guess, Jimmy, the thing he misses most about playing hockey is ramming someone through the boards or punching someone in the face. So I was like, wow, it's a very Mikey Money answer. I like that.
Wow, I thought you were going to say juggling pretend balls when he's drinking out of the bottle of water. I thought
sure.
I thought that was sure. I was expecting that, but
Mikey, any thoughts, Mikey?
To each their own. We are off Cubs, Braves. Let's move on to New York Yankees, Minnesota Twins at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These Yankees 28-15, 15-9 on the road at the Minnesota Twins, 24-17, 11-9 at home. Target Field. Let's first look at Target Field here. 70 Fahrenheit, 10.6 miles per hour in, right to left in, goes down to 9 miles per hour. Now this is the only bets I came in with in baseball. I came here. I'm really enjoying fading Marcus Stroman. I put on Marcus Stroman songs here. Watch him.
Yeah, he's a rapper, right?
He was. I don't know if he still is. Okay, thank you, Mike. He leaves the juggling to me. I don't drink out of water bottles just because I jiggle. You're right, Mikey. You're right. BJ says he's all over Twins' biggest bet of the season so far.
God damn. And we know BJ rolls with those big boy bets.
He does. He does not mess around. And Christopher Ing, Muth. I know you're trying to spell Muth. He's got myth and myth. But it's auto.
What the fuck is a muff? Anyways,
look, don't talk bad about.
Not a winning horse, apparently.
So yes, it's sad. I wanted to watch Muth. I guess we have to wait for the bell.
Well, I mean, you can't juice your horses with a juice bag that Bob Bathard is.
All right. Well, let's roll here. Pablo Lopez, Marcus Stroman. Joe Yerby said Jimmy picking on a smaller man. Well, come on, Stroman can outbench me, right? Pablo Lopez. I'm on the Twins. I moved on the Twins, and I also moved on the under. Let's take a look at the situation here. We looked at the weather. Let's look at the line history. From line history standpoint, this is sitting at an 8 minus 104 to the under. So it hasn't moved. When I moved on it, it was minus 104 to the under. Then it got up to minus 112, but there's been buyback, unfortunately. But still a move towards the under is something that I like. And when we get to the money line on these Minnesota Twins, we have the Twinkies now minus 135. I had to take them on the minus one line. I was late to the party. It like Daby was talking about. It's just too juiced for me. I had to take them on the minus one line, and I got I think plus 112. I'll double check.
Yeah, I saw this line. I believe Bet Online had this line opening up at minus 105 each way.
Sorry, you saw this opening minus 105 each way?
Yeah, and then obviously it's soared all the way up to Twins.
Pinnacle opened it up at minus 115 plus 106. And what did Bet
Online? That's still 15 cents, right? Like, fuck, that's crazy.
Well, you're absolutely right. Bet Online did that. Bet Online opened it up 2:38 p.m. minus 105 each way.
And then just moves it up 30 cents. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I thought when I first looked at this line, I was like, wow, really? The Twins are favored? And then you look where it opened, you're like, damn, okay, that makes sense. I think this is a clear everyone trying to, or maybe the books trying to get money on the Yankees here and the Twins win. So I agree with you there.
Jarek White saying you like the first 5 under 4. I don't dislike it. I just like these bullpens very much. I want the bullpens involved. A Yankees bullpen 2.63 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. A Twins bullpen 3.65 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. A Twins versus righties 227, 706 OPS doesn't scare me. Yankees versus righties does scare me, but it doesn't concern me with the way Pablo's pitching and the way he's pitching at home right now. He's got consecutive starts at home. We just watched him shove in his last start, 6 1/3, 10 Ks. I like having Pablo here, and I think Stroman is vulnerable, and I will continue to say that. I'm watching him pitch out there. He's just, he's emoting and he cares so much. And that's just, maybe the pinstripes might be a little much for us.
I'm going to be interested to see what he does in the postseason or what they do at the postseason because obviously it's Garrett Cole number 1. It's Rodon number 2 probably. And then you've got Clark Schmidt, Marcus Stroman, and fat-ass Nesty Cortez for that 4 spot. And then 2 of those guys will go into the bullpen. So I'm going to be very interested to see if Marcus Stroman wins that spot.
Here is my prediction. Marcus Stroman is not on the New York Yankees playoff roster.
Oh. All right.
There's my prediction.
That'll be fun.
I'm on the Twins and the under. Jose, you stayed off.
I'm off. Yeah, I lean Twins. By the way, I will say, I think, it doesn't matter, but I think the fans will be very into this game because I think today they're doing like a Pablo Day kind of thing, and they're giving out like yellow jerseys, and they're trying to recreate the King's Court. And I think there's just going to be a shitload of people wearing yellow today. Felix Hernandez, Pablo Lopez. I guess Venezuelan pitchers just like yellow stands. I don't know, but very interesting.
It's going to be fun. Anytime the Yankees come to town, people care. It's good for the sport. And Billy Freedy says, will Eric Fetty be on the Yankee playoff roster?
No.
Well, Fetty's going somewhere. He's shoving. He looks great.
That's true. He's going somewhere, but I think the Yankees have pitching depth, as I just said. I think they'll go for a bat.
Let's roll on. Next up for us, 8:05 p.m. And we have our guy, Daby Cab, back in business with us. Please welcome Daby Cab back to the program. Guardians, Texas Rangers, Daby Cab. Let's roll. And Lucky Lefty also rolling with us. Lucky Lefty on that over in the Yankees-Twins game, so we're going heads up in that one. Frank Ritaco says MLB best bet Rangers -1 at -117.
Frank's been cashing. Cashing. We see you, Frank.
Yeah,
you look like a well put together gentleman in that picture as well, Frank.
And also to Lucky Lefty, please send our love to Tata Booker. OG low baggers right there. Target Field in Minneapolis. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. So the first question is that roof open in Texas? And it's not going to be open. 82 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Roof will be closed. So we don't need to care about the wind. It is blowing out pretty heavy. Let's get into the line history here for Daby Cab's best bet number 2. Johnny Gray versus Cookie Carrasco. I was surprised to see this total move from 8.5 to 9. Who is of these pitchers is the vulnerable one? I guess it's got to be Cookie. Let's see what's gone on with the money line. Then on the money line here, we have the Rangers sitting at minus 165. They opened up at minus 152. There really wasn't movement towards the Rangers until 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Again, this line came out at 5:27 p.m. yesterday. The first move, like we're talking 9 hours in, there had been a move towards the Guardians. So, keep that in mind. Now there has been a move towards Johnny Gray and the Rangers. But that doesn't tell me exactly what I want, because Johnny Gray looks great out there this year, whether coming out of the bullpen or whatever. 90% of tickets, 91% of cash on the over. And on the money line, we have 25% of tickets, 51% of cash on the Guardians. So it's clear there's sharp actions on the Guardians. But if you want to put sharp action on Guardians, you have to trust Cookie Carrasco, and I never know what he's going to give you. The last start, 3 earned runs, 5 runs were scored on him, 3 of which were earned. 6-3 loss to the White Sox. So he can't even get through the White Sox. 5.36 ERA, 1.49 whip. And then John Gray looks really good. The Gray Wolf, 1 earned run in a 4-2 loss at the Rockies last start. I can't believe I wasn't on the under. I don't remember if we discussed enough about, Rebenga for Gray. He pitched really well in that start, but the bullpen let him down. Guardians hitting just 227, 680 OPS versus righties. Rangers 253, 733 OPS. Guardians bullpen the best in baseball. 2.38 ERA, 1.01 whip. Converted 14 and 20 save opportunities. The Texas Rangers battling for the worst in baseball. Just ahead of the Angels right now. 5.14 ERA, 1.42 whip. Converted 9 of 15 save opportunities. Take it away for us here. Daby Cab, best bet number 2, Guardians, Rangers.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody how depleted this baseball team is. The Rangers have more players on the IL than any other team in majors. I mean, it's close. They got 13, and there's a couple teams sitting right there at 12. But, I've said it. You said whether it's out of the bullpen or starting, Gray's been electric this year for the Rangers, but he wasn't even supposed to be in this starting rotation. You got Dane Dunning on the bench right now. You got Scherzer on the bench right now. You got Eovaldi on the bench right now. You got DeGrom obviously on the bench right now. And I don't really consider DeGrom in the mix because we all knew he would be there. But the rest of them, we thought we'd have them right now. We got none of them, right? None of the starting pitchers for the Rangers are healthy. You're left with fucking Haney, who actually hasn't thrown terrible recently. And then John Gray, who you wanted out of the bullpen. And I guess Lorenzen, who is now one of our guys also. But the Rangers are just hurt. They're not a team that I expect to, do much right now. I think it's going to be tough for them to stay around that 500 mark. And if they can do that, if they can stay around 500 and get healthy, then maybe I think they have a chance to make a push here later on in the season. But for right now, where I'm looking at this game, the Rangers have been struggling offensively. If you look their last 5 games, just 2-3-1-0 and 4 runs. That being said, the 4-run game was the last game last night against Cleveland. And in that game, one thing that we saw, Seager hit a home run. Garcia hit a home run. Lowe hit a home run. It's the first time all year we've seen the 3-headed monster in this lineup all hit. First time these 3 guys have all hit. All of them hit a home run yesterday. I think they're seeing the baseball a little bit, and I think today's the day the Rangers break out. And Carrasco's somebody that I like to go against. He's already given up 7 home runs on the season, so he is prone to the long ball. And, if you look at his strikeout to walk ratio, it's not very good. He's got 17 walks on the season already. So if we're talking about long balls and walks, those are crooked numbers. And if you're going to give me crooked numbers, I like a team total. So I'm going to be on the Rangers team total over 4 or over 4.5 right here.
Team total. Did you tweet this out or do we line shop?
I tweeted it out, minus 118.
Minus 118. Team total over 4.5, minus 118. Market moving towards the over. The only thing that's not quite correlating is the line. It took a long time for it to move towards the Rangers, but it's doing that now. Jose, what do you think of this spot? Guardians, Rangers.
Yeah, no action. I will use this opportunity to say that Jack Leiter has a 16.39 ERA. That is tied for the 3rd highest ERA for a pitcher's first 3 starts in his career in the live ball era. 3rd highest since 1920. Only the acclaimed Dan Reichert and Ed Keegan have higher ERAs than Jack Leiter through his first 3 starts. So no action for me.
Wow. And ribeye play today, Nate Lau in at plus 190. The ribeye play day 8-7 plus 8.2 units. Troy Torrance, interesting, says very rare he sees a 12-0 spot for the underdogs run line. For the underdogs run line, that would be Guardians plus 1.5 if anybody wants to do that here. But Daby Cab has spoken. It is the Rangers team total over 4.5 at -118, and I will be off of this spot. Just doesn't correlate enough for me here, so I'm going to be off this spot. But Daby Cab, go get that cash. He's giving us Rangers team total over 4.5, and he's giving the Phillies team total over 4. And let's go sweep the board here. Be in the black when we have you on tomorrow, Daby Cab. Please support Daby Cab on X at Daby Cab, and of course, Medicate Mondays. Daby Cab, any last words for Capper Sport and the show?
Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Pain. Why do I always got to pick the hardest name, right? Truth Teller, Barry Smith, Billy, everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to you guys. We don't have anything without you guys, and I love doing this. But I'll be right back here tomorrow, Jimmy. Let's get fucking paid today. I'm ready to make some money.
I love it. There he is, Dabra Cadabra, the Magic Man. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 19-25, 9-12 on the road at the Houston Astros. 17-25, 9-12 at home. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Aaron Brooks, another Aaron Brooks sighting. Thought this man was gone.
Who the fuck is this guy?
You remember him with the A's, don't you? 34.
No, Aaron Brooks is an NBA player to me, I think.
This will bring you back here. Aaron Brooks, when did he make his major league debut? It took him a while. He made it as a 29-year-old with the Oakland A's. Oh, no. He had a cup of coffee in 2015. Actually, he played with the Royals in 2014. Okay, so he did break in 24. I remember when he broke in with the A's. It was he was pitching in the Pacific Coast League, so they're all inflated numbers. It's kind of difficult to tell, but in that his career, he is 9-13. He's made 28 starts. He's been in 52 games in his career, 9-13, with a 6.55 ERA and a 1.50 WHIP. In AAA, he didn't make it to the show last year. I spent the year in AAA. In 2022, he came up for a cup of coffee, 9 innings with the Cardinals. 2023 he was with El Paso, and he wasn't that bad. 4-3, 4.95 ERA, but 1.46 WHIP. This year, he's got a 4.57 ERA. He's thrown 43 in a third, 32 Ks and 10 walks, 1.43 WHIP. This is a journeyman of the lowest quality. Going up against Framber Valdez, coming off a nice start at Detroit, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. The A's are hitting just 223, 692 OP. And I shouldn't have said of the lowest quality. Aaron Brooks has earned this opportunity. It's not easy to toil around in the minors, when you're 34 years old. So Aaron Brooks deserves all of the respect for fighting his way back into the show. And I imagine he gets lit up and smoked. Astros versus righties, 254, 719 OPS. They still don't have a ton of power versus righties. A's bullpen has been great all year. 3.51 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, converted 10 of 15. Astros bullpen, 4.31 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. They've only converted 5 of 14 save opportunities, but they're coming off a nice performance against the A's yesterday. So let's go into the line history here and hear what Jose wants to do. We have this total at 8.5. It opened up at 8.5 plus 105 to the under, and then it went to 8. It went to 8, 11:38 p.m. last night, back up to 8.5, but is juiced to the under. At this point, at Pinnacle, we've had 17 cents of movement towards the under. Now let's go into the money line here. We have Valdez at -241. He opened up at -229, so it's not a huge move over to them. They got up to -245. Then there was a bit of buyback. Still, at this point, we have 12 cents of movement towards the Astros. Now, you're not going to see a ton of action on the Astros money line here, you would think, but 97% of the tickets and 99% of the cash is on the Houston Astros. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And on the total, we have 53% of tickets, 51% cash on the over. Look, we know that Aaron Brooks doesn't have a lot of God-given talent, but he's earned this opportunity, and everything's on the line. 2-0 Miami. 2-0 Miami. Wow. Casey Mize getting touched. Again, right, this is the type of situation where 4 years ago, I'm on Casey Mize. For sure, first 5 -1/2. But now, we put a lot of time into the market, and the market got me off of it. But Lee Davis moving live on the Tigers at +123. So here we go, Jose. Obviously, all I want to talk about is Lance Lynn and Griffin Canning. I've only wanted to talk about them all so long, and I finally get to in our next game. But here, I just don't think the market has moved. Maybe it was lined at a proper number. Take it away, Jose. Framber Valdez twirling for the Astros against the A's.
Now I will start it off with an old friend, Troy Torrance. Cash cow is the Houston Astros. Yeah, I'm gonna bet Troy Torrance's run lines on these cash cows. I'm gonna bet them. It's gonna get me over my phobia of run lines. I'm 0-3 betting them this year so far, and I will bet them here today as well. So Houston Astros -1.5. It was not cheap. Anything but it. Let me double check here. I believe it was -120. Yep, -120 for me. Houston -1.5. Troy Torrance's cash cow play of the day.
Yeah, I get it. Were you? I mean, this. Look, I've come across. I've joined you on two cash cows. They both lost.
Yep.
and
And then
that's
Troy's very bothered when they do lose, and we're on him. It's very funny.
And you can get -115 at bookmaker. JT Eel saying that -120 is a terrible price for a run line on a home team.
Yeah, JT, I don't love it. But if my guy Troy Torrance says there's one angle he'd bet of all the angles, and it's this cash cow angle, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to trust him. And he did say the sharp trap is gaining steam on that. But, yeah, I trust my guy Troy. The sharp trap's been great. Cash cow has been awesome. Now, again, the times we bet it, it's lost. But I'll trust
I believe
cash cow.
I'm 0-2 on it while it's gone, 15-3?
Yeah, I mean, I'm again 0-3 betting run lines all year. 0-2 betting the cash cow. This will be my third time, so I'm riding.
It's 33-14 on the run line so far this year. So I mean, it's been monstrous.
So yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, okay. Jose is on it. So Jose Astros -1.5, -120, and it is the cash cow.
Yes, Troy, I'm 0-2 betting cash cow run lines. We've parlayed cash cow money lines and the cow cat several times this year. So, but yeah, 0-2, and then my third run line I bet this year was last night, I believe it was. Yeah, it was last night with the Mariners. So
let's roll in the game that I want to talk about badly. 9:07 p.m. Eastern with St. Louis Cardinals 18-24, 12-13 on the road at the LA Angels 15-28, 5-16 at home. We're at Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. Two of my guys facing each other here with Big Tits Lance Lynn going up against Griffin Canning. Let's get into the weather here in Anaheim. 65 Fahrenheit, 8.7 miles per hour to right field. That's down to 7.3. So it's not hot, kind of cool. Wind is blowing out. And let's get into the line history. I've not bet this. I want to, but I wanted to.
I knew you were going to want to bet this game
badly.
I just didn't know what side you'd be on, obviously.
One of the problems is that it's gone back and forth from 8.5 to 8, 8.5 to 8 nonstop. And now
this is no like movement. This is like picking between your fat, ugly first child and your lovely baby, your second child. It's nice and new. But that first ugly fat child's still there, though. You still love him.
That's a tough analogy.
Thank you.
Here we have Lance Lynn at -116. So we've had no movement on side or total at this point. So let's take the Bear Smith said that Lance Lynn gave me the money to get out of Parkdale.
He definitely did contribute.
So we have 69% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the over. Then on the money line, we have 58% of tickets and God, it's so stupid. Let's 100% of the cash. I mean, like, what the hell is? So let's just call it 99. But 58% of tickets, 99% of cash on the Cardinals, and the line's not moving towards the Cardinals. So the last start from Lance Lynn was another poor start. But we know the Brewers' sticks have been rolling. Lance Lynn goes 4 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 which were in 5 Ks, 2 walks. Sitting with a 3.79 ERA, but a 1.41 WHIP. His K to walk ratio isn't very good. He has been barreled and gotten lucky. Griffin Canning coming off a great start. 2-1 loss at home versus the Royals. That was against Alec Marsh. They were both shoving. I cashed. How did I get? I didn't cash until the 5th inning because I had the Angels first 3 and first 5, and it was 0-0 after 3, and I got an Adele homer in the 5th inning. Cards versus righties, 235, 677. They can't hit them, and it's the exact same numbers as the Angels versus righties, 236, 680. Cards bullpen, 3.89 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, converted 14-18. I really like the Cards bullpen. Angels bullpen's been so bad. So here we go. Lee Davis says runs. And my thought process here was legitimately, and Lee, tell me what you think of this, was that there's so many people who've made so much money off of overs when Lance Lynn pitches that I thought there would be a vividness bias of it. And I know Griffin Canning's pitching very well right now. And he's at home. He's got consecutive home starts. So it has to be Griffin Canning, doesn't it? Doesn't it have to be Griffin Canning and the under? I wanted to talk it out and hear what you guys thought about it. So take it away for us, Jose Bouquett, Cardinals, Angels.
Yeah, I don't want to back the Cardinals. I think I've just decided that they're a no-bet team for me, especially with Lance Lynn's going, but not a team I can trust, really. I've tried backing the Cardinals here at several points. Their bullpen is good, sure, but the offense is so tough. Goldschmidt, Arenado have gone up and down this year. Goldschmidt more down than up. I lean again towards Canning, and I lean again towards an under, but it's just so annoying losing that under yesterday in such fucking epic fashion. But I'd rather trust Canning than Reed Detmers at this point. So Angels are nothing and under are nothing, and I chose nothing in either.
This is a tough one.
I also think that action has this market kind of messed up with obviously 100% of the bets. So
we can just act as if it's 99.
I just worry about well, what if it's not? But yeah, I don't know. I just stayed off this game here. I lean Angels for sure, though. Home team, I think. But we've talked about how short home dogs are poor this year. So no, thank you.
Okay. So my plan will be for a first 5 under and Angels first 5. But I do want to sit with it a little more. I want to sit with it a little more, but that's going to be my plan. First 5 under, Angels first 5 is my plan here. It just feels like one of the games that just makes me smash shit. And
optional misery play of the day.
Well, it's Lance Lynn being involved. He's a hard guy to trust, but Griffin Canning is pitching really well right now, and it's one of those things that I want to circle every time when the numbers aren't indicative of what he's doing. He had a terrible start to the year, but he's pitching very well right now.
What do you trust more, the size of Lance Lynn's tits or Griffin Canning?
Oh, tits.
Okay, I figured.
I mean, you know what you're going to get with Lance Lynn's tits.
Fair. You don't know what you're going to get with the pitching, but
no, I expect Canning to pitch well. But we know what happens when you. I realized that we've been calling Peter's shirt a blouse, but I know I've got another term. It's a lady cloak. A lady cloak. Yeah,
a lady cloak.
But you know what would happen if you unbuttoned Lance Lynn's blouse? Right?
All the buttons would suddenly just burst open at the seams.
And if you can get past the hair,
it's definitely hairy. So what's the difference between a lady cloak and just a regular cloak?
Well,
what makes it ladylike?
Shoulder pads, and lady cloaks hide tits. Cloaks don't.
Okay. The shoulder pads was key, though.
It is key. And shout out to Peter and his lady Coloque. The problem is I haven't run his numbers from yesterday, and if it was not successful, we'll never see that lady Cloak again.
And it would be a true shame if we didn't.
Yeah. Let's move on to our final game on the board before we get into NBA with Dutch Boy Fresh. 9:45 p.m. Eastern. We have the Los Angeles Dodgers 29-15, 14-7 on the road at the San Francisco Giants 19-25, 11-10 at
Who's
home
pitching?
or Park in San Francisco, California. That is the question. Who is pitching? Kelly McKinnon says Harry Saggy Tits. Saggy?
Well, no. Those.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're way off on that.
They're
one.
definitely perky.
Buxom. What do you even use? Buxom.
Never heard that term before.
Well, that's why I'm here, Jose. Logan Webb going up against question marks. Let me refresh.
No lines either.
And
BJ says nothing official.
And so it's definitely not Yarbrough, right?
He's like the cut and paste. Like if the Dodgers don't have a guy, they just throw Yarbrough in there to start. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't necessarily think it's him.
I just feel like if it was going to be Yarbrough, we'd know.
Yeah, exactly. I agree as well. At least there would be a line or something. So I don't think it's him.
Oh, I've had a line. I thought I had a line all day on it. Sorry, let me just go back. I believe I've had a line all day. I've had a line all day. It just doesn't have a picture for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So I have -140 on the Dodgers, the 8 at -105. Obviously, we need to know his pitching, but let's talk about Logan Webb. He has a rich history against the Dodgers. On the year, he's 3-4, 3.38 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. Coming off 4-2 loss at home versus the Reds. 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were in 6 Ks and 2 walks. And the clinch yo ass cheeks play of the day is Webb, 5 or more Ks from Voodoo Ranger. Let's talk about what our expectations are of.
I like how you said that, Jimmy.
Sorry, my friend.
I like how you said that.
What was that?
Clinch your ass cheeks.
Oh.
Play of the day. I like how you said that. Yeah.
We have trouble with Logan Webb against the Dodgers. We know that. Betts hitting 346 with a 1.024 OPS. We have Barnes 3 for 5. I mean, do we get a Barnes sighting? Probably not. He's 3 for 5 against him with 1.467 OPS. Freddie Freeman as a jack, 5 ribbies and 29 at bats, 448 against him, 1.122 OPS. Muncy, 3 jack, 6 ribbies and 24 at bats, 375, 1.33 OPS. Shohei Ohtani 2 for 5, 1.100 OPS. These guys just hit him. They just hit him over and over and over again. But Jeffrey Dahmer says he will not be fading Webb at home. His last outing against him was good, though. That's true. The Giants bullpen's been a problem all year. 4.93 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. The Dodgers are smashing righties, 257, 79, 795 OPS, and 2-1 Jays, says California Bets.
The Jays want a fucking battle here, Jimmy. They want to make you sweat for that season win total.
Oh, there's going to be no sweating whatsoever. None whatsoever. But the market was explaining to us that the Jays were live here. Take it away for us, Jose. Your thoughts on Logan Webb. Can he get through this Dodgers lineup?
Yeah, I have no action on the game, obviously. I do have questions about Webb, though. His last few starts have not been great against the Dodgers, to say the least. Pitched against them already once, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. 4-5 loss there. Last year, his best start against them was 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. That was the last start he had against them. 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 1 of them earned. 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs there. Just don't trust him. I just don't trust him here. So I lay off. Freeman, like you said, crushes him. Betts crushes him, and it's just a little sketchy. Even like you said, I think Austin Barnes, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw him pitch or go and catch today. So no action for me. Maybe some prots on Freddie, but nothing.
Lee Davis saying it's a bullpen game, not seeing who is getting the ball first. Okay,
I mean, we'll see Yarbrough a lot then if it's a bullpen day, confirm, and they're not just going to go with the young dude. So we'll probably see an opener and then Yarbrough for like 2-3 innings, and then we'll see what happens.
Oh, nice. Daby Cab was able to get the Phillies team total over 4 minus 125. No, that is an important difference, man. That's 8 cents. That's an important difference. Minus 125. It's important. All right, let's review all action in MLB. I need to get back to where I was in March and April. I was rolling, and then May comes.
Same.
And I give it back to start the month.
Same.
Now May 15th. Let's ride the momentum from yesterday and roll. So here we go. For me, I moved on a lot of spots here with you guys, with the help of you guys. I'm on the first 5 under 4 in Nats White Sox. I got that minus 121. Jose's on the full game under 7.5 minus 125. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today dog is the Nats. Then I moved on. Why don't I have it written here? I bet it. I guess I was just so panicky. I moved on the Cincinnati, Arizona first 5 under 4.5 at mine. Oh, because it was moving so quickly. First 5 under 4.5 minus 108. And then I moved on Colorado, San Diego first 5 under 4. Now that was expensive. That was minus 125 there. So that's my early start. Then we get to the Royals. I want Marsh. I want a challenge Woo. I want Marsh and I want unders. So I'll be texting Mike after the show to get the information on the bug going through the Royals room. But, eye test is not the most important thing in baseball, but Alec Marsh looks better than he's ever looked in complete control. Daby Cab on the Phillies team total over 4. Jose's on the Rays, but Jose, I want you to go over all your actions because I might have missed something with the juice and everything. I want the Rays and I want unders. And I'm concerned that this is a first 5 full game under situation, which I would prefer not to double up. Cubs, Braves, we stayed off. Another Chris Sale start where the opposing pitcher gets lit up and the Braves don't allow a single run and we get to that full game under, which is very thankful. The only bets I came in with, fading Strosho. Minnesota Twins. Oh, well, not really because I'm on the under 8. So it's still a Strosho sort of fade a bit. Cab then is on the Rangers team total over 4.5 minus 118. Mikey Money Ribeye play today's Nate Lau plus 190. I don't know. I thought I had your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again play today here, but I can't find it here. I don't know if you have it, Jose. If you do, can you talk about it when I hand it over to you? Jose's
I also do not have it, but I think it was Tampa Bay in the under 8.5.
It was Tampa Bay in the under 8.5. I just don't remember the amount of cash. Can you hit us with that again, Mikey, if you're watching the...
Tell us what your stubborn-ass grandmother is doing again.
Grandma's panties is a raise and under 8.5. Well, that works perfectly with my plan. That works perfectly with my plan. Then we have Jose's cash cow, Astros minus 1.5. I'm staying off the cash cow, but I'm watching it closely. And the sharp trap has saved me money yesterday. That's the first time I listened to it. Very thankfully. Then the first 5 under in the Angels, first 5 is my plan, and Cardinals, Angels. And then Dodgers, Giants, I'm off. Jose, review your action, please.
Yeah, only 4 bets today, but a must win day. I need to win today. Tampa Bay Rays, full game money line plus 114. Washington Nationals under 7.5 minus 125. Houston Astros minus 1.5 minus 120. Shut to Troy Torrance on the cash cow. And first 5 under 4, Rockies Padres minus 120 there for me.
Let's have a day, Jose, my friend. Let's have a day. We move on from baseball and over to the association. And yesterday was, I cannot believe I went 1-3 on Thunder bets in games 3 and games 4 because I should be sitting here, ready to get back to the black. That's not the case. I kind of bet things poorly, but cashed with the Knicks and stayed off the Nuggets, which is fine. I don't mind that. Cashed with the Knicks and bet a little bit more. I'm starting to open up on some of these playoff spots. And it felt good. It felt good to, that was just a no sweat, sit back and relax. I am surprised that Operation Garcia didn't yield more cash. It was, lost some VIG yesterday, tight, but lost some VIG. I expected to get paid heavily, but I did not. But let's move on to today's action. We have 2 games today, and we will be taking our first breakdown of Game 6 Nuggets Timberwolves as well today. So please welcome to the show the star of NBA action here on Pub Sports Radio, especially on Betting with the Bag on Wednesdays here every Wednesday. Coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada, the freshest capper in the handicapping industry. Please welcome Mr. Dutch Boy Fresh. What's good, Dutch? How are you, my man?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you're looking at the plug. Yeah, man. I'm good, Jim. I'm good, man. It's good to be back with you. You know, frustrating. I can't lie. Wednesdays have not been the best to me, of late. It's not very pretty, as Jose's, going to remind me, as I see here. I don't think I've ever been on this show, been down double-digit units. It's a little different. It hits a little different, Jim. But it's good to be back with you. Fresh off of, a Nuggets win last night. Seen that pretty clearly. Feel like I'm getting back, and into where I need to be, what I'm seeing. So, over the weekend, took a couple days off, hit the refresh button. So, ready to get back and hopefully get out some motherfucking winners here on the bag, my guy.
Well, we believe in you, and there's still lots of time to heat up. So let's do exactly that and get rolling. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern with the East semifinals, Game 5. Boston up 3-1, and Spider Mitchell is out, already confirmed out. So we don't need to sit here wondering all day whether or not Donovan Mitchell is playing. A side note for those of you who still mess around sometimes with Operation Garcia, I believe Leonard Porsche and I are the only ones fully hammering it every day. And it's running nice again, thankfully. When you have a player that might be out, the Jared Allens of the world, you have to wait. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait. If you bet all the player props and Jared Allen's included on that, and then Jared Allen's voided player prop, all the other ones will go up when they're reintroduced to the marketplace, and you get screwed because we're betting under. So it's crucial. If there's any injury possible issues, you got to wait. You got to wait. Let's get to work here, Dutch. We have the Celtics sitting right now at minus 15.5. That is juice to the Cavaliers. This opened up at 15.5. It opened up last night at 9:46 p.m. So there was already common knowledge that Mitchell would not be in. So at this point, we've had 4 cents of movement to the Cavaliers. Now in Game 4, we saw the Cavalier role players step up, and that's something that's a big part of Scorecasting, the book that I've told you guys about. The role players in the playoffs in basketball. This is a basketball. Scorecasting is heavy on basketball. Mark Cuban does the forward. It's just the role players step up. We see it time and time and time again at home. The role players step up and they disappear in the other team's barn. They're sitting at 15.5. Let's get to the total here. This total is sitting right now at 205.5 minus 109 to the over. Opened up 205.5 minus 106 to the over. We have a 3-point move to the over. So anybody remembering how good the Cavaliers bench players looked, remember that was in Cleveland. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. We have 69% of tickets and 67% of the cash on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Why not? We just saw them in their first game without their star step up. 97% of tickets, 95% cash on the over. So already, Dutch, just starting to talk it out. Already I'm leaning towards smash and grab Celtics because I know what everybody just saw. And we kept saying in the Knicks breakdown, don't believe what you just saw. Don't believe it. We're switching cities and everything changes drastically. The Cavaliers have played the playoffs at 94.09 possessions a game. They played this series at 91.25 possessions a game. That's right in the Boston Celtics wheelhouse. That's exactly the speed they want to play at. In this series, the Cavaliers' three-point shooting is being a little better than it was in the first round. They're shooting 33.1% from three. The Celtics are doing they're shooting what they've been shooting all playoffs long. Now their three-point shooting is a little bit worse, but they're basically shooting what we've seen all game long, or all series long, or all playoffs long. So we talked about Mitchell being out. Jared Allen's not coming back for this. He's not. Now, look, if I know this, I don't know this, but it's not. I find it hard to believe that Jared Allen's going to come back and save the day. Is there any chance that you see Jared Allen on the floor here, Dutch?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I mean, guy can't raise his arms over his shoulder. He's going to come back in the most important game of the series. I just don't see it. So here we go. Cleveland 12-16 in games that Mitchell's missed this season. But what we know is that first game without your star, the players step up. When you're at home, the role players step up. Do either of those things happen here? That was the first time in that victory, 109-102 in Cleveland in Game 4, that the Celtics won a playoff game by less than 13 points. Darius Garland stepped up, 30 points, 7 assists. Cleveland shot 15 of 48 from 3. I just don't know if they're going to have this happen again. Tatum went for 33 and 11 and 5, added a couple steals. But as much as we want to talk about the elephant in the room being the role players not stepping up on the road, there's another elephant in the room. Boston's 14-14 in home playoff games over the last 3 seasons. I mean, they've cost a lot of people cash at home. 18-7 in the road, 14-14 at home. Here we go, Dutch. Game 1 on tonight's NBA playoff slate. What's your move?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Peter G in the building. Shout out to Justin. I see you, my dude. Yeah, definitely link up with me, my man. Hopefully you had a good vacation. Joey said, "Where the flower at?" Hey, I'm on deck for a minute, bro. I'm on deck for a minute, so I had to spark up. I got shit to do. But I'm definitely loaded. And I see Jose's trying to kill my motherfucking vibe, but it's all good. This game right here, Jim, to me, I don't think we can overthink it really. But at the same time, it's like, do you trust Boston laying 15 motherfucking points? In my opinion, it's Boston or nothing here. But I'm not going to the window. A lot of people like this first half Boston again, and why not? I mean, it's been a good damn thing. It even cashed last week, game 4 in Cleveland. But Jason Tatum hit a big 3. It was a sweater, but they did catch that first half. So the only time it hasn't hit is when I was on it in game motherfucking 2, when they lose outright. And then of course, game 2 against Miami. Outside of that first half has been good money. So, there's clearly levels to this shit. If Boston is locked in, they could put these boys away early. Last time Cleveland was in Boston, they shot the best they've shot all year, all playoffs from the perimeter. Over 43% from 3, and really made it look quite easy against Boston. They played gritty without their stars in game 4 at home. Do we get the same thing? I don't know, Jim. I honestly, this to me is just, I'm ready to get to game 2. Game 2 of the night. To me, this game is Boston or nothing. If you want to hold your breath and expect Cleveland to show up with the B squad again, I mean, it could definitely happen because, as you just mentioned, Boston's 14-14. But we have just seen them lose outright as a 14-point favorite to this team at home last time they played. So I wouldn't expect Boston to overlook them. I'm going to ride it with my boys that first half. Hopefully it cashes for them. But no play for me on this game. If Cleveland can knock down that perimeter shot, because they have shooters. They just haven't been able to knock them down. Even without Donovan Mitchell, they still got capable guys, as we've seen in game 2. They could stay in this 15-point game. So, gun to my head, full game, it would be Cleveland. Outside of that, I think the best bet probably in this game would be Boston first half.
So, I only see one angle here from a gambling standpoint. is go against what everybody saw in game 4. That's it. That's the only angle. Yeah. And I was curious to see how many people would be on the Cavaliers in the chat. Now, Josh taking the Cavaliers money line, no one talks a friend off of a huge dog like that. So and you don't need to bet much to be rewarded. I mean, Brahma be on Cavs plus 14.5. If I saw a ton of love for the Cavs in the chat, I would be on Boston. I feel like the Boston Celtics are becoming very predictable, is what I feel. We know when they step up. We know when they fail. It's that second game at home. They get a little relaxed. They got tested in game 4. Now they come back to Boston, Everybody just saw the Cavs, fight tooth and nail at home. We just saw this similar situation almost to a TV series. BJ says, "Are you comfortable laying that?" No, not comfortable at all. Not comfortable at all. But you know what I would do, BJ, is I would bet first quarter, first half, full game. I'm not comfortable at all. I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna need to sit with it. But
I like the first quarter, first half.
I just feel like this is good night, Irene. And it really helps that the Cavs role players stepped up in game 4. So I think I can get there, but I'm not going to tell you I'm going to get there for sure right now. I'm going to need to sit with it for a couple more hours. And Nasty Nate says we call it the old trifecta. We do. BJ says it's almost 2 touchdowns and field goal. Look, I get it. I'm not one to want to drop these things, but I think it's time to finish these guys off, shut them up. Not that they've been beacon, but just finish them off. So I think it is. I actually think it's a trifecta spot for me, which is not going to be comfortable.
What's the first quarter? Because they were up 7 and 5. Yeah, that's probably the more appealing one to me. They were up 7 in game 4 too at the end of 1. So I would expect them to come out pretty hot. It's just Boston. They just don't have that killer instinct sometimes. So that's why I don't really like laying that 15.
They don't. And we've seen it in game 2s. This is a team that hasn't been challenged, and it's possible that this team isn't challenged until they get to the NBA Finals, which is.
Yes. Jalen Brunson will challenge their ass a little bit, but yeah, you're right. These motherfuckers knocking down like dominoes. So who knows who will be playing with Jalen Brunson? But if they can even get there.
And Jose has the link for Turnsy's son. We will be discussing it here on the show. The GoFundMe just came out, so we'll be discussing it as we move forward. Thank you for grabbing it, Jose, and we'll be discussing that.
What happened to Turnsy?
He's dealing with seizures, nonstop, a lot of seizures, and so Turnsy can't. It's not working, and he's at home with his son. They found the root of the seizures, but they haven't been able to stop them at this point. So it's great that you found that, Jose, and we'll be talking about that more and more. So I'm going to need to walk around with this one. Brahma B says Lions high because Celtics are at home, but they're 14-14 at home. No, I get it. Brahma B, the reason, look, if the Celtics had won by 15 in game 4, there's no chance I'm on this. I'm benefiting, I believe, off of that tight game. So, but again, with such a huge favorite, I'm going to need to sit with that. Let's move on to game 2 here, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West semifinals, game 5. We have the Dallas Mavericks at Oklahoma City Thunder. There's nothing more frustrating in capping than being right and losing money. And I guess the real reason was I wasn't right. Oklahoma first quarter, first half wasn't right. I was scared that in the most important moments of this series, that Dallas and Luka and Kyrie would step up. But in the most important parts of this series, the last game, it was Shea, and Jalen Williams that were stepping up, but especially Shea. And so I want to go to back the Mavericks. I was on the Thunder in games 3 and 4 in Dallas, and I messed up the betting. I went 1-3 in those bets, but I want to back the Mavericks here. And it's predicated on Oklahoma City never being here. It was very easy for me to back Oklahoma City as a dog. No one's believing in them. They're going into Dallas. I found that very easily. Now I screwed it up, and I should have kept things simple. I screwed it up. But now they need to win game 5 at home to get to, be on their way to the Western Conference Finals. Now the pressure is on them. Now the Mavericks are being questioned. And that's when I want Dallas. But I knew I needed to talk it out with you guys. The Mavericks are being sped up by the Thunder. The Thunder are playing at exactly the pace they want to play, around 96 possessions a game. The Mavericks want to play around 93, 92 possessions a game. They're being sped up by the Thunder. And the Thunder should keep pushing them. We know that Luka's banged up. In the playoffs here, in this series, OKC's not shooting the ball well. 44.2 from the field and 35.2 from three. You could say that Dallas not shooting the ball well in the series too, 42.5 and 37.9 from three. But if you take out Luka's shooting percentage, Luka's numbers, they're shooting the ball really well. It's Luka that's been dragging them down. Let's get into the line history here and the cash flow for this one. We have this total sitting at 213. It's minus 114 to the under. There's been 8 cents of movement to the under. Let's get into the spread is sitting here with Dallas plus 4.5. They opened up at 4.5. There's been 2 cents of movement. This was at 4 most of the morning. About 2 hours ago, it came back to 4.5. Now, if I come here and the money's all over the Thunder, this is a slam dunk. I'm going to bet it right away. We have 90% of tickets, 85% cash on the over. And this line's moving to the under. I do think that the under is in play. Maybe I move on that too. Here we go. Spread, click button. It's not. It's 50-50. You have 42% of the tickets and 48% of the cash on the Thunder. So it's not a slam dunk situation here. So Sky Dragon said, I believed at the beginning of the series Dallas would win. I believed after games 1 and 2 and 3 Dallas would win. I believed after the first 3 quarters of game 4 Dallas would win the series. I no longer believe that. So Sky Dragon says OKC or pass. I thought OKC was going to win this series the whole time. But I don't know if they can cover 5 points here at home in the most important game of the series. So let's just set this up, X's Nose, very quickly and hear what Dutch has to say. It was a very impressive 196 victory in game 4, and it makes me not want to bet the under because the last game went so clearly under. Shea, 34 points, 3rd consecutive game, at least 30 in the series. He's so smooth. Chet finally stepped up, 18 and 9. He played very well. This is a chance for OKC to get to the Western Conference Final for the first time since 2016. When Shea is needed for a bucket, we've seen this all year long. We saw, really all year. Let's talk about this year, but we've seen it. He's so comfortable and casual. He doesn't panic. He doesn't sprint. He's always in control. 22 points in the second half, 10 points in the fourth quarter, 4 of 7 shooting. And you could say that Shea's the best player on the floor. You could say that because Luka's banged up. This isn't the Luka that we're used to seeing. He's banged up and he's playing his heart out and he's playing through the injuries. Now, Luka had a triple-double, 18, 12, and 10. He was 6 of 20 shooting. Kyrie had his second straight game of not being an offensive weapon. Dallas struggled in the most important moments of the game. An interesting thing about why DG liking Oklahoma City for me was that Oklahoma City didn't play well. 38% from the field, 25.9% from 3, and yet they won the basketball game. Take it away, Dutch Boy Fresh. We're all ears. Mavericks, Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, man. This game, I think back to Monday night. Very frustrating to me. Very frustrating. I was on the Mavericks. Clearly the better team for 3 quarters, and then that fourth quarter when even you, Jim, mentioned when you're worried about it, when Kyrie Luka time, keep this game close. Prior game to that, Kyrie had 14 in the fourth quarter. He took over. He did his thing. What we expect out of Kyrie Irving. I was pretty much shocked what I seen in that fourth quarter. I seen Kyrie, I seen the whole damn team just choke, and including Luka the Don. And healthy or not, you can't lose that game there. So I'm betting on the Mavericks. I'm betting on Luka the Don and Kyrie Irving to come out, and we're going to see the best version of them, especially Kyrie. I mean, come on, we're talking 27 points, 10 of 31 from the field. Now that's not one of these guys. That's these 2 guys combined in that game, Jim. All right, 10 of 31, 27 motherfucking points combined. This should be easily, each one of them should be dropping 27. Luka, hurt a little bit, but come on, man. I mean, I know Lou Dort's an elite defender. We got to be a little bit more efficient. He did give you 10 assists, did give you some rebounds, but did have 7 turnovers. So take care of the fucking ball, my guy. But Kyrie will be better. I mean, PJ Washington gave you 21 and 12. I mean, Derek Jones, gave you 17. Gafford gave you 10 and 8. I mean, 3 blocks. Lively gave you 7, 6, and 4 off the bench. I mean, to say that Dallas should. I still am very frustrated the way the Mavericks lost that game because the role players did everything they needed to do, and all they needed was the horses to carry them through. And Luka and Kyrie let them down. So I don't believe that happens again. I don't believe that happens again. The energy is there. The defense is there. The rebounding was there for 3 quarters. It all of a sudden they stopped rebounding the motherfucking basketball. And one big thing, one big thing is the free throws. Free throws. You're 10 of 21 from the free throw line. Luka choked on one, to tie the game when it really mattered. But 10 of 21, God damn it, that is pathetic. That is fucking putrid, and that cannot happen again, or else they will not cover the 4.5 tonight. I think the Mavericks win this game. I do. I'm going to be on them first half as well, Jim, because I expect them to come out and be, in grind mode from start to finish. I think we're going to see the best version of Kyrie and the best we've seen of Luka so far in this playoffs. The role players continue to do what they do, and don't give up on these rebounds. The rebounds is the huge edge they got in this game. They got to out-rebound these boys. I don't know what the fuck happened in the fourth quarter, but it didn't look like the Dallas Mavericks we seen in Game 3. In the previous game, in the 3 quarters that we watched that game play, because they didn't play the best basketball in those first 3 quarters, but they were clearly the better team in that first 3 quarters. They were more aggressive, and it was clear that the Dallas Mavericks were the right side in that basketball game. I don't know what the fuck happened in the fourth quarter, but all the OKC Thunder guys like Mikey Money and all these motherfuckers want to pat each other on the back. Hey, great fucking pull the horseshoe out of your fucking ass, because hopefully you don't have it tonight. Dallas Mavericks, Luka the motherfucking Don, Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew, get the job done. Plus 4.5 and the first half, Jim. Lock me in. It's both good money.
You got it. Plus 2.5 at minus 104 over at Pinnacle to get started. And then full game plus 4.5. That is a plus 4.5 at minus 107, I believe is the best line. Yes, 4.5 minus 107. I'm not going to mess with the first half. I don't want. I was shocked at how I lost money back in the Thunder in games 3 and games 4, and I was just getting too cute. I can understand that the Mavs are going to come out strong early, but it does feel like the momentum swings late in this game are monstrous because the talent is so high. I mean, you got Shea on one side. Shea can just get hot and just not stop scoring. And the same thing with Kyrie and Luka. It kind of feels like we know it's a beautiful series to live bet because we see these 10-0 runs nonstop throughout the whole game. But it feels like both teams have been better as the hunter rather than the hunted, and teams just aren't, comfortably taking care of leads. I'm going to take the Mavs plus 4.5. I like that. It puts me in a situation where if it goes down to the wire and, Shea takes control, I can still get paid and still get paid. So I'm going to be, and I wanted to talk this out. I also, as we're talking this out, I do think that I'm going to triple up on the Celtics. I really do. I'm going to need a little bit more time to bet such a big favorite in that fashion, because it's one of those, when you lose on a favorite like that, it stings way worse than losing on a dog. So, but I'm going to join Dutch. So Dutch has Mavericks first half plus 2.5 minus 104, full game plus 4.5 minus 107. I will be on them full game as well.
Yeah, outside of game 1, I think they outside of game 1 early, they've looked clearly like the best team. It's the fourth quarter, in that previous game. I just didn't see that. I didn't see that coming, but we'll get back here tonight. We'll get it back tonight.
All right. Derek Paris says history favors home team tied 2-2 in game 5. It does. DC Cab with small lean to the Mavericks plus 4.5. Derek says he's going to triple up with me. Derek, I still need to sit with it for a little bit longer. It's very difficult for me to take a favorite at this big of a number here. So I still need a little bit more time. Leonard Porch Jr. says saving my Mavs money for game 6. You know, I'm going to like the dog in this series, especially if we get over over 3. I'm going to be liking the dog here. Okay, now we talk Thursday, May 16th, NBA action. We have the West semifinals, game 6. Nuggets now up 3-2 in the series, traveling to the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was a sight to behold what went down last night. Watching Jokic go after Gobert, pick on Gobert, was very enjoyable. We are sitting here now with Denver still a road dog. We're sitting them at +2, at -103. They opened up at Pinnacle +2 at -105. It didn't open up till Wednesday morning at 8:15 a.m. So this line at Pinnacle has only been available for about 6 hours, and it's moved very slightly towards Minnesota. We get into the cash flow for this one. We only have 1,655 tickets counted for, but 75% of the tickets and 83% of the cash are on the Denver Nuggets. On the total here, 89% of the tickets and 94% of the cash are on the over. 89 and 94. Let's see what's going on with the movement on the total. We have it sitting at 204.5. Opened up at 204, a half point move to the over. A BJ going back to the Timberwolves money line again. My dude says Nuggets win it all. Says Gobert can't stop Jokic at all. And my dude says, how does he get Defensive Player of the Year and look like such dog shit? He says Jokic made him a joke. I mean, I don't know if it's a joke here because Jokic is, best player in the league, a 3-time most valuable player. He's very, very tough to stop. This series is being played at just a little over 92 possessions a game. And, both these teams are playing around that number throughout the playoffs. So it's not playing into one team's wheelhouse. The Denver Nuggets are shooting the ball spectacularly well in this series, 50% from the field and 42.1% from 3. The Timberwolves are now just shooting just 35% from 3. Jokic goes for 40 points and 13 assists. And then, of course, the number that we're all fascinated with, 0 turnovers. 20 of his points came against Rudy Gobert. He went 8 of 9 from the field against him. He did anything he wanted. Got anything he wanted. For the third straight game, all wins, the Nuggets shot over 50% from the floor, over 40% from 3. Remember, in game 2, the Nuggets were held to 34.9 from the field and 30% from 3. And Edwards picked up just 18 points on Tuesday. We saw the difficulty of his scores without Conley on the floor. Right. Conley is not an electric player, but clearly he opens things up for Ant and gets Ant in good situations. Is this enough time for Conley to play with a sore Achilles? I don't think it is. It sucks for the Wolves because Nickeil Alexander-Walker looks so good coming off the bench. But if you need him to play 39 minutes, it's a problem. It's a problem. He's just not meant for that right now. So the Denver Nuggets have been winning these games comfortably without Michael Porter Jr. helping.
Right.
Ineffective. 4 points in game 4, 6 points in game 5, which tells you that the Nuggets are the real deal. Mm-hmm. Take it away for us, Dutch. Game 6 of the West semifinals.
Yeah, that's what's scary about the Nuggets, man. Is Michael Porter Jr. has been MIA this series. And Aaron Gordon been the second best player on the team. Jamal Murray ain't even been that good. I mean, now we've seen a better version of him, but Aaron Gordon's been the second best player on this basketball team. Caldwell Pope did show up last game. But it's unbelievable what we're seeing out of the Nuggets when your stud, guard who just hit 2 game winners in the series before against the Lakers, really been kind of struggling. Shout out to the Minnesota defense. And haven't really been getting much from any of the role players outside of Aaron Gordon, who's just really looked like he another level. And obviously, you touched on Joker. He's on a whole motherfucking another level. What he's doing in Minnesota. Minnesota's a little fat and happy, man. They're feeling themselves a little bit after going 6-0 in the playoffs, sweeping Phoenix, and then handling Denver 2-0 in Denver, which still will be one of the more shocking losses. I don't want to say shocking losses, but one of the ones I took it on the chin that I still can't really, when you can kind of explain your L's, they're a lot easier to digest. But I still don't understand that game 2 in Denver. Like that game to me was just unbelievable the way they didn't show up there. But they got shit. Mike Malone got the crew ready to rock and roll, traveled to Minnesota, and since then they've handled business. But I also believe the chip that the Wolves were playing with might have went a little light after beating Denver like that 2-0. They might have got a little fat and happy. But this game to me, Jim, I do believe this series is over, but I don't know if it's going to be over in game 6. Denver's not losing to Minnesota in this series. But I'm going to pay attention to the line, and I think the line will tell us everything we need to know in this basketball game. I do think Minnesota, you listen to Ant after the game in the press conference, man, he was just patting Joker on the back. It looked like he was defeated, but it's one game. He gets back to practice. They're going to refresh, and I do believe they'll show up. Now, I would like to see Conley out there. Obviously, that does put Alexander Walker back to where he needs to be on the bench. And Conley, say what you will about him, but he's a point guard. He's a leader of the team. You've seen him on the bench. You've seen what he was trying to do, keep the team involved. It didn't help because Joker's just that damn good. But I'm hoping that I see this line drop, honestly, into Denver's and people be betting Denver. Everyone in the chat already, it seems, and I just know this is what it's going to be: Denver, Denver, Denver. So I'm right where BJ's at, as long as the line tells me that. I'll probably go to the window with Minnesota here, because the NBA don't give away free motherfucking money, and everybody's gonna act like this is gonna be free money with Denver. Now, if this line moves to 2.5 or 3, I might pump my brakes a little bit, but I don't see that happening. I see it going probably more towards a 1 and get a better number on Minnesota, and I will be on Minnesota here. But I do believe the series is over. Game 7 in Denver. Minnesota does not stand a chance. But I just believe the world will be on Denver in game 6, and that's the NBA for you. So it'll be Minnesota or nothing for me in game 6.
I'm hesitant to back Denver here, and I certainly don't want to fade them.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's like if the line tells you, you kind of got to throw a unit on it, because it's been it's been pretty good, outside of the other night, it didn't make sense to me. But yeah, that's my read on this game, Jim. It's definitely scary to fade Denver, because I do think they're clearly better than Minnesota. But they lose this game, and what do? They go back home for game 7, and it's still, and it could be, writing on the wall for these boys. So.
Very, very interesting. And my apologies, Cody, horse races here. We're moving to Thursday and Friday, because Thursdays we have the short MLB card. So horse races from now on are Thursdays and Fridays, $50 up for grabs, Thursdays and Fridays. Let's talk a little bit about this total. I think we can assume that Minnesota is going, that Ant and some of these guys are going to hit their shots, but can they get reasonable open looks with Nickeil Alexander-Walker playing the point? Because if they can't, we know that the defense is going to be heightened. If we can't, do we look for an under here in this one? Because this total has yet to move, and 89% of tickets, 94% of cash is on the under. Now we have 32 hours, 30 hours before this game pops off. But I have a lean towards the under. We know that Gobert will be better defensively. He'll be thinking, he'll be thinking of all the mistakes he made guarding Jokic. He knows Jokic can go after him again. We know that Ant's going to step up, but he's not going to have easy looks, because he's not going to have a point guard setting him up. And Nickeil Alexander has length, can defend the perimeter. Do you have interest in the under at all? And if you had a free $500 bet on the total at 204.5, would you move on the over or the under?
Yeah, it seems awfully low. It does seem pretty low, Jim. I would only look under. This is where Minnesota, if they have any chance, they have to just bite down on the defensive end. I mean, we've seen them look elite defensively. Rudy Gobert he's literally like a walking meme right now. I mean, you heard what Draymond was saying about him. It's you, motherfucker. I actually one of Draymond's highlights of his career for me. That was actually pretty funny. But outside of that, yeah, I think I would be on the under here, Jim. I'm on under unless it's the Indiana Pacers. You talking playoff basketball? I got to look towards the under. I think the under in the game tonight is also appealing tonight. We didn't talk about that too much, but I do think Dallas and OKC. I like the under there. There have been some points been scored in, at times, but overall, watching those two teams play, I definitely lean to the under in that game as well. But yeah, under in these two.
I think that will be my only bet in Game 6. Will be the under. I am going to wait though. I do want to watch this market mature and materialize. I do not think that 95% of the cash will be on the over. And if Conley's not there, I will be betting the under here. We heard from BJ's already hammered the Pacers in Game 6. We will talk about Thursday and Friday action on tomorrow's show. But here we have Dutch planning on a move on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you want to make the Timberwolves official right now here with the line?
I'll tweet it out. I'm going to let the line kind of determine this one for me, Jim.
And so are you looking for it to move towards the Denver Nuggets?
Exactly.
So you're thinking that you could get even a pick?
I'll get a better line on Minnesota and I want to make sure that what I'm thinking is going to happen is the whole world is going to be on Denver tomorrow night. Because I don't really want to step in front of these boys, but if that's the case, and this line goes from 2 to even more appealing to where everyone's just on the Nuggets, I know Minnesota's going to be live to win that game. So I mean, it's not all she wrote for Denver. They go right back home, as I mentioned. So I'll definitely be paying attention. I'm worried about tonight's games, and then as soon as I look into the line moving from there, I'll tag you if I'm on Minnesota tomorrow night.
Beautiful, and I plan on being on the under. And I'll be watching it very closely. But I'm going to be on the under on top of Operation Garcia, which we need unders for all these player props to all go under. But I'm going to be on the under. DC Capper says total flies over. You're in good company, DC. 9.5 of every $10 is on your over. So you're with the public in a warm bath, in a bathhouse even. In a bathhouse with all the public.
That's okay.
I just got a couple hoes over here. Don't mind us. We're going to be on the under. That's our breakdown here. Game 6, Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves. Dutch, excellent work, my man. Thank you for rocking with us. Please support Dutch on X at DutchBoyFresh. And, of course, he's one of the stars of Medicate Mondays. Please support that as well. Dutch, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Check it out. Be sure to tune in to Medicate Mondays. We've been doing giveaways. We got the horse race going. We got Jose on every Medicaid Monday. Now we end the show a little bit baseball segment. So why not bring the ponies out? We got good giveaways going. This Monday it was Kyrie and Luka's total combined points. And let's just say nobody got fucking close. 27. God damn. Let's get a little more tonight. So your boy saved $50. I will say that on that. But outside of that, it's some bull ass shit. But yeah, check it out. Post Sports Radio is the place to be. Appreciate everyone. Y'all stay fresh.
Respect. There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh and Mally Mal saying, man, y'all definitely need to tune in to Medicate Mondays. All right, let's review all action. And yes, we have moved our horse races to Thursday and Friday because we have the short card on Thursday. So it'll be more fun. We can do a few heats. We can have some fun with it. And especially when NBA and NHL are done and it's just MLB, we will really want the horses on Thursday here. My dude says, how's Operation Dennis Garcia been going? I'm behind on the full spreadsheet, but
it's a lot of bets.
Yeah, and I'll get them right. I'll get it right. I fell behind during the Derby and I haven't fully caught up, but it was, I got up 6.6. I got down about 1.8. and then we had monster victories. Not last night. Last night was lost a little bit of vig, but I had very, very good days. About 3 in a row, very strong days. So I'll have all the numbers for you, and I apologize for that. And I guarantee, because it's such an important angle that we're capping. We thank Dennis Garcia so much. It's so important to know exactly how it's gone. So I promise you I'll have every single thing down to a T for you guys. But I did fall behind a little bit. I did get disgruntled. I mean, getting up that high and then giving it all back was annoying. But this is year 3 of it, and it's one every year. So I knew I had to keep hammering it, and I'm thankful that I did. And I'll go over it all here.
Shout out to, who was it again that is doing it with you? Al Cervic?
No, Leonard Porsche Jr.
Leonard Porsche.
Jr. It's just Leonard and I every night hammering it. And Dennis, of course. Dennis hammering it as well.
Yeah.
That is our show for today. Jose, let's review all action. First off, a lot of cappers have action on the board right now. I just have that Nats, a White Sox under. Stayed away from the other spots, but let's take a look at the situation here. And did that just end the inning there? Yes, it did. Wow, the bases were juiced there in Baltimore. We're now heading to the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-1 Toronto right now. A wine time is on the under 7 and the Orioles money line. Then in the Marlins Tigers game, I Tigers in the under. I'm really upset. Now, we knew that the market, that everybody was on the Tigers, the market wasn't moving towards Tigers, and that. But I back Trevor Rogers, thought he was going to have a bounce back start against the Phillies, who smashed lefties. My problem, I guess, I got blurred by how much I like Casey Mize. I had a feeling that Trevor Rogers was going to pitch well today, and now he's done just that. In Pirates Brewers, Gasser rolling and Perez getting touched.
The gas, man.
The line was moving towards the Brewers. They're up 6-1 right now. That was a mistake. We get our card started here in Washington, Chicago. Got to get out of this first inning. Man on second with 2 out right now in the top of the first for the Nats against Crochet. We have Jose's on the under 7.5. I'm on the first 5 under 4. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is the spreadsheet dog play today is the Washington Nationals. So that is there here. So we move on to action. I moved on that first 5 under 4.5 in Cincinnati, Arizona. Got a nice number, -108. I moved on the first 5 under 4 in Colorado, San Diego. I did not get a nice number. I need to figure out what to do with these Royals. I want them. But I do think that it's very important to have all the information, obviously. And there's a stomach flu going through Kansas City. We know that from a connect on the squad here. So the idea is to wait, but I don't know how much. Oh, it's back to +126. Okay, so it's back moving towards the Mariners again. Okay, so I can sit back and wait. Maybe we need to wait and look at the lineup here. But I want to be involved in this, really involved. The question is, if I fade Woo, why would I be on the unders? I guess the answer is not to be on the unders. It's just to be on the Royals. And Jose, you stayed off this completely, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'd be on
then
the
Cabby
Royals there,
gets his card started with the Phillies team total over 4. Jose and I are on the Rays. I think I'm going to be adding the unders. Grandma's Panties is Rays and the under 8.5. Cubs, Braves, we stayed off. I'm on the Twins and the under already. Cabs on the Rangers team total over 4.5. And the ribeye play of the day is Nate Lau at +190. Jose is on the Astros -1.5. That's the cash cow. The Troy Torrance cash cow is the Houston Astros. The first 5 under and the Angels' first 5 is my plan for Cardinals, Angels, and then I'm off Dodgers, Giants. We still don't know who is pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jose, can you review your MLB action?
Yeah, I like you mentioned, I'm on the Rays there, fading my Boston Red Sox. It's going to be an interesting game, to say the least. Tanner Houck pitching, but the line moving towards the Rays. I got him at +114. White Sox, Nationals under 7.5, like you mentioned there. And yes, I'm on Troy Torrance's cash cow. I'm going to keep betting it. I'm 0-3 betting run lines this year, but I'm going to keep fucking betting them. We're going to get over it. -120 there. And Colorado, San Diego Padres, first 5 under 4, -120 there as well.
For me, I got the Celtics trifecta loading.
Nasty Nate, I'm sure, is happy to hear that.
It's just loading at this point. I need to go outside.
Just talk to Nate. He'll get you to bet it.
No, I know that. And I'd like to ride with Nate, but I also it's very tricky to back a favorite at this number. And then I'm gonna be on the Mavericks. I'm gonna bet it as soon as the show ends. I'm gonna bet that plus 4.5. And then I want the under in Denver, Minnesota, but I'm going to wait. In NHL, I'm on the Stars tonight at -1, and I'm on the first period under 1.5. And then I will be moving pretty heavily on that Hurricanes game. I have a plan in store. I just want to sit with it for a little longer. First period under 1.5 will be on my card for sure. And I imagine that the Hurricanes -1. I actually have 3 bets that I'm close to making, so I want to sit with that a little more for the game, for the big Canes game tomorrow. Jose, my friend, excellent work as always. We have the GoFundMe for Turnsy's son. We'll be discussing that here on our shows as we move forward and sending our love to the Turner family. And Jose, great job, my man, as always. I love it. Thank you to everybody in the chat. My dude, Nasty Nate, Jarek White, Mally Mal, Kelly McInnes, Robert Martin, Frank Ritaco. It's a great group. Leonard Porsche Jr. says, can't stop now. It's been a wild ride. I have not enjoyed the ride, Leonard. It's stressful. It's every single day. It's investing so much money. And if I come out of it up like at least over 3K, I'll be happy. But it's you got to be on it all the time. You got to wait.
How much money do you have to be up to do it again next year?
I think just the black, honestly.
Really?
I think
you're willing to ride on this ride again.
I think so. I think that that it's just stressful, and that's all. It's stressful.
It's hard to track too. You're just waiting to see at the end of the game what happens.
It's not that hard to track, and that's the first thing I do every day now is I put it on its own worksheet. So but I don't put it onto the spreadsheet. It's not that hard. It's like tracking anybody's action. If you fall behind, that it's just that snowball gets bigger and bigger, and it gets harder and harder to So it's Robert Martin said it's fun. Bottom line is we love it. Yeah, this is not being fun. It's just it's out of my comfort zone. It's player props. I'm putting 200 a pop on them. Like it's just I feel a pit in my stomach.
Yeah, no, I definitely know. I know that feeling. Yeah.
So, but I'm very thankful that Dennis shares his best angles with us always, and I'm very thankful to cap with guys like Dennis and all of you guys in the chat. Jason Work, Mikey Money, Nasty Nate, Dana Delp birthday picks. Jose, that's how we close out the show. Dana Delp birthday picks.
That's a great question, Dana. Let me tell you right now. I just need to see if the Rays line has moved.
Dana Delp birthday picks.
The line kept moving towards the Rays. I'm going to tell you bet the Rays here. No, it's actually plus 122 now for the Rays.
Oh, it's going against them.
Yeah, that's concerning. Dana, best bet of the day that I have not bet actually because it's too juice for me. But if we're going to do this as a parlay style thing, go ahead and bet Minnesota Twins full game money line. Take them there, or ride with the cash cow and Houston -1.5 there if you want something individually there. So that's me.
Yeah, that's interesting. How about if I was going to get involved here, what about? Let me just take a quick look at this. This would be. This might be way too expensive, but if it can be even money, yes, this would be my birthday pick to you, Dana Delp, and it is the all Texas 2-leg parlay. Ooh. Houston Astros, Dallas Stars at plus 141. Houston Astros, Dallas Stars at plus 141. Wonder if I use that. Houston Astros, Dallas Stars at plus 141. Maybe it does sound appealing. And then I can get in on your I can get in on the cash cow. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I might
Yeah,
do
if you
that.
put all three of those bets together, plus 452 there as well. And just those last two, the Texas parlay, yes, is 214 for me.
Plus 214?
Yeah.
What?
Because Dallas Stars money line is -1. Let me double check for me. It's -140, and that run line is.
Oh, because you're doing the
-120.
run line. Okay, sorry. I just Astros money line. I'm just Astros
Oh.
money line, Stars money line.
Cool.
Yeah, Astros money line, Stars money line. DG, much love to you, my friend. The cash cow is the Astros -1.5. Dana Delp, happy birthday, my friend. And thank you to all of you guys. Saturated, Billy Friedrich, Joey Marinaccio, Storage Club, Dahmer, Cody Norton. Thank you guys. BJ, Steve G, Al Cervic, Proof Bets. Thank you guys. Derek Para, Von Polo. Thank you guys. Okay, it is. Oh God, it's just. There was once upon a time when a show would end, and it'd be okay. That's great. You know, it's show's over. Now the show ends, and it's just like, gotta get your action as fast as possible, and then gotta start prepping for tomorrow. Have that prepped for tomorrow, and then be that for a couple hours, and then all of a sudden you go downstairs. And you got
you're in
3
the
screens
arena.
on, and it's just like you're not moving for 6 hours, sweating this all out. It's just, but again, this is the life we dreamt of. I felt that last night. The edible was kicking in, 3 screens going, and I was like, this is heaven. Now I was winning. That helps. So
That definitely helps. That definitely helps.
let's go get that cash. Jose, great job as always, my man. Can you please leche us into the future and bless our action?
Yep. Shout out to you guys as always. Appreciate it. Don't forget Preakness this Saturday. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'll be there for a bit. And by the way,
We need
yes, and Say Hey plays on Sunday. It's going to be an hour earlier at 9 a.m. Central. So you guys do all that math there. So just a heads up there. Just moving it up an hour early for just that Sunday. But we appreciate everyone watching. And let's go get that fucking money. Leche, de los bookmakers.